said that 3 times, John. Our last show of September.
Last summer show. Well, I guess it's already past summer.
It's already gone.
Summer's
yeah.
over.
Hi there.
On the air.
And thank you for the sub, Cranky. Hi, hello. Hello? Hello? Hello. Hello. Flower.
Hello.
John, I'm not starting the show, Hi Sniper, with you going,
On the air. On the air.
I just shut up in game.
All right, let's go. All right,
Okay.
ready?
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody hear us okay?
Yep.
Okay, I am recording.
5, 4, 3, Michelle.
I don't like that intro. You gotta give us a place, a location, a home. Let's do it again, John, from the top.
5, 4, 3, 2, live from Oslo, Norway, Michelle.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 873 of the Video Game Outsiders podcast. None of us are in Norway. I'm one of your hosts,
No.
Michelle Madison.
And I, of course, am your John Jacobson.
And I'm that guy, Matt Brett.
All right, we're here.
What's up?
This is the big one.
We're here. We got a big show. A lot of really big games. I don't know why I said it like that. We got a big show.
Really
Sony
big
lives.
show.
Sony is
What?
alive.
Sony lives. Oh,
Sony
no.
lives.
We're going to talk about that Sony State of Play. I watched it. We'll see what you think
We're
about
going
it,
to
Matt.
unpack it,
'cause
as the kids
we
say.
will.
Yep.
Yep. And I don't think the kids are saying that. They're saying when they say
Like, it was-
unpack, they mean it involves the butt. We're
We're
going to
all
talk about the
doing-
games.
We're all
Still
doing Galaxy Gas, too, tonight.
What?
You got that too?
Oh, I
That's some really
didn't.
good stuff.
Yeah, Sauce in the chat is saying TCG Shop Simulator review coming. I
Yeah.
didn't actually get that game. I was thinking about it. So there's a card shop simulator game, and they have stinky customers in it. And I told Kevin, I was like, they copied. They're listening, and they copied because the PC Gamer wrote a whole article about it. How you have to fight off stinky customers. But so
I know.
if you don't know, GameStore Guy has a whole show on our app where he talks about his stinky customers. But speaking of kind of our app and everything, John, if people support us, we are giving away the Big Sausage Energy, your new spice, but we saved some to give away to everybody, anyone. So anyone listening, if you want to try John's new spice flavor, Big Sausage Energy, you can enter in our Discord. We're going to pick 2 winners next Sunday or something. John, tell people about it. Like, what is it?
It is a pizza topping and Italian seasoning, Michelle. It's basically my
Okay.
grandpa in a bottle.
Ew. You don't want that. Don't. Wait a minute. Nobody's going to want to enter now.
What? Okay,
There is Grandpa's Ashes is a drink, is like a gamer drink. It's called Grandpa's Ashes.
It's Italian. It's Italian sausage seasoning. Okay, it's got ground fennel seed,
Ew.
crushed red pepper, garlic, rosemary. I'm not rosemary. Basil, a little bit of oregano, and it's awesome. It's truly awesome as a pizza topping, or you can mix like about 2 tablespoons with a pound of ground pork and make patties and fry them up. They're on point. Trust me.
This is delicious. This sounds delicious,
And the
John. I
smell,
wish
oh
I
my
had
God, you smell this thing,
Well,
you're
Matt,
nirvana.
he's going to send you out a pack of all of his spices.
Yeah.
The first time it failed, because so it's USA only, but we're making an exception here
Yeah.
for Matt because
Yeah.
you're going to get his
Canadian born
garlic,
pizza.
his salt and pepper, his rub, whatever. So if you're curious about this, in our Discord, we
Yeah.
got a link to John's Spices, and we're giving away 2 bottles of Big Sausage Energy. To enter, hit the pins in general.
Yeah, and if you go right now, if you go to pitbeast.com, you can order it, and then it's gonna be on Amazon like any minute now. So
Any minute, just wait. Just sit there with
well,
the
I'm
refresh
waiting
button,
for
searching
it to get in their
Big
warehouses.
Sausage.
So it's
Yeah.
on the way to
Well.
Amazon, and
What's Pit Beast?
You
Is
better
that your
write Big
website?
Sausage.
what? You don't,
Yeah.
What? Where have you been?
But John, you
You
have to
don't
write
really
Big
talk about this
Sausage
too
on the
much.
customs certificate
Wait,
to
you
Matt.
got pitbeast.com as a dope. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I
That's
know
a good
it.
URL.
Like, I'm,
It's a good
I'm
name.
surprised,
Great
surprised
URL.
that hasn't been taken by
Honestly,
any of the
when I
other-
came up with the name, I was like, really? That domain's
Yeah.
available?
That's insane that Pit Beast has not been taken by like a rib festival thing.
Yeah. Yeah, pitbeast.com, and then all that's on Amazon. Really order on Amazon. It's easier for everybody. It's Amazon Prime
And John,
and
we've
all
been
that.
talking about us doing like a VGO spice. We'll,
Yeah.
as a gag, we'll do one day.
Michelle's witch hands.
Just- That's right. Don't make fun of my long fingers. They're perfect for typing. All right, well, we're going to get into a bunch of games. Like I said, it's a really, really big show and the Sony State of Play. So we are live right now on twitch.tv/John and Michelle. We do it every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, you can listen anywhere podcasts are, including our free app where we do weekly bonus shows, as well as the whole back catalog of VGO is up on there. So if you support us for only $1.99 a month, you get a lot of shows, John. How do they do that? That's
right. Go to our website at videogameoutsiders.com. When you get there, there is a red premium button. Go ahead and click it. Go to the next page, sign up and go premium. It's $1.99 a month. Once you are a member of the VGO Club, you will unlock our entire back catalog of almost 20 years and also get all the bonus shows, that's right, that we do every single week. We do Micro VGO. I did a John show today. We do PC Outsiders, Netflix Outsiders, whatever. It's all there. We do a lot of stuff. It's all in the app. Go premium at videogameoutsiders.com. And then also grab our free app on iOS or Android. Just search for Video Game Outsiders. And then also, anytime during the week, you guys can send us voicemails. Can be a question, comment, whatever. Just pick up your phone and dial 520-FEEL-VGO. Tiger?
Okay. What did we get today? We got Sony State of Play, which absolutely sucks ass.
Oh,
come on. We got Concord 2 coming.
Sony's
Concord
dead.
2. No, Concord 2 is going to say
Sony's dead. Sony's dead. Sony's dead. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, so they did announce Concord 2 today, right?
That's right. Yeah. That's going to be great.
The
yeah.
reboot.
Thank you for the sub, incredible game. Yeah, the
Concord.
reboot.
It's a completely new
Yeah.
game, guys.
Well, they remastered Horizon for the 4th time, but no, in all seriousness, we'll get into it. There were some kind of bigger
some lame
announcements.
announcements,
Some of
for
them
sure.
are coming, everywhere, though. They're not exclusives. That's kind of the world we're living in now, but some of them are. So, yeah, we'll get into that in the news. We also, what else is going on tonight? I think we have all the housekeeping done. We're entering into October next month. We have our big Halloween show coming up. Spooky season. We're going to be scary games. Suggest them, because I'm already looking like, what scary game am I going to play this year? The Lake House DLC for Alan Wake. Are you going to get that, Matt? Is that like on your
for sure.
Halloween radar?
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah, because that looks kind
Zelda.
of interesting. I'm like,
That
do I go
might
back to
be
it? Yeah, next
spooky.
week. Zelda Roundtable.
Friday,
Echoes of Wisdom.
this Friday, Zelda.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next show.
Really good.
Yep.
Are you getting that,
I'm
Matt?
probably going to.
Later on, I've got a big flight in a couple months to Australia. I'm
Okay.
gonna play that game for like the entire flight. So that's my game I'm saving.
Yeah, Tom, I've been, I've noticed that Zelda game is already out. I'm not going to say I
When is,
have it,
isn't there a
don't
Silent
have it.
Hill remake or reboot coming
Yeah,
out
that's
soon?
also in October. Are you getting that one, Matt?
I would probably get that. Yeah, it looks
Okay.
interesting.
I think we may do like a fun roundtable because I talked to Savral, who's like took work off for it. I was like, you should come on and talk about it with us because I don't think John's getting that one. I want to cover Silent Hill remake for sure because I mean,
Okay.
growing up, that was one of my
I don't
favorite
think I ever
scary
played
games.
it. Is that what the nurse
Silent Hill, yeah, headless
Yeah, Pyramid
nurses.
Head.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to October this year. But anyway, okay, so let's get into what we played this week before we talk about Sony. So I played a bunch of games, and I had a little bit of like a false start on a couple of them. I was kind of burned by early access with the Forever Winter. All right, so this was a game that was getting very hyped up. If you're like in the PC space, you've probably heard of it. If not, probably not. But it's a co-op shooter, survival horror. It had this like beautiful atmosphere. Like they nailed the graphics, they nailed the atmosphere, they nailed the music. Like there's so much cool stuff about it. It's a PvE looter extraction game where you're scavenging off dead and trying to a little bit of Tarkov inspiration. Like there's vendors and all that stuff, John, like Marauders.
Right.
It's early access. It's $27, and like it's one of those things where it's early access and it's very early access. It is not ready. Like the combat felt bad, the movement felt bad, the stealth didn't feel good. You'll be playing and all of a sudden I saw a group of dudes just like appear in front of me, so the spawning is like completely off. But it was getting hyped up by a lot of streamers, even some people who were playing early. I checked in, like some people were being very honest and other people were like, look, this is really cool. But then if you go look at like the reviews, like people are saying no, it's not. So I was like, I'm gonna figure this out for myself. And unfortunately, it's
bots, or like, do you think it's
it's
just
just okay, yeah.
AstroTurf?
So
What are
you're
you
fighting
doing
these
it?
huge.
Yeah.
You're fighting these huge, massive machines. Okay, and these like it's like post-apocalyptic like scavenger
It looks
shit. Okay.
interesting. Like, this
It does.
it
Like
actually
I'm
looks
saying,
cool to me.
it looks
Yeah.
so good. I was hyped for this. I was like, I
Yeah.
can't wait. We're all gonna get this. We're gonna play. But unfortunately, it's just like early for. But that doesn't mean you should write it off. But I know people were looking forward to this, and I feel like if you don't go buy this on the first day, like you have got to give this game time. And I think the developers are very cool. They've been very like vocal vocal, talking to people who they gave keys to, saying like, we're going to fix this. We know you're here in the early part. And it's like early access there's like two types of early access. One is where it's like a Kickstarter and they want people involved where you shape the game and it gets better and it needs like a year and you're a part of it. The other early access is like, okay, it's pretty much done and maybe we'll add some DLC down the road.
Right,
This
like
is
Hades.
the form. Yeah, this is the
It's more of
former.
a
And this
marketing
is like,
technique, not a
Yeah,
legit
and
I
it's
want
like-
input.
so if you're seeing people hyping this up, they're either not being honest or they're paid or sponsored. They don't want to be mean because, like I said, it hurts to be mean to these devs
Do you
because like
think
they're
we
doing a
need
badass thing.
third like tier?
I think we do.
Because
Steam needs to have like Kickstart or something because
Supporter version or play
Yeah.
testing, like
Playtest.
play tests.
I mean,
Well,
I don't.
you
I
can
don't
do a
hate the
playtest.
idea. Like honestly.
but you already can do that free. You can
Right.
try to get
Yeah.
request access. There are playtests. Unfortunately, that's what this game needed. Like I get that they want the money to continue perfecting it, but unfortunately, I feel like it's in a playtest alpha state right now, which is not in an
whose
early
fault-
access
Okay,
state.
so whose fault is this though? Is it the people using early access as a Kickstarter kind of incubator feedback?
Well, they're being upfront
loop?
about it. They're
Or
saying it's
is it
early
the
access,
people that
but
make it like Hades 2? They basically release a finished
Right.
game, so they basically
Yeah.
have two launches of the game essentially.
Yeah,
right?
like everything
Baldur's
is early
Gate 3 was
access
the
right
same
now.
way.
What's that?
Like,
Well, yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 was the same way for about a year. People were all
Yes.
into that.
I played Baldur's Gate 3 like 3 times before it released, and like I always stopped because I knew it was only like part of the campaign, but that's what made the game so good, that they had people. But when you have Baldur's Gate, you have people willing to test it and willing to play it. It's harder with an indie game like this, but it was getting a lot of attention from like some of the PC streamers and stuff. I know Asmon showed it, so it does look cool, and there's so much cool about it. The atmosphere, like once this is right, and if they can perfect this is going to be an awesome, scav game to go in with your friends and loot and extract and do all the typical kind of like almost like a Tarkov feel kind of thing going on. But right now I can't say go buy this even to like follow through with the development.
I do agree there needs to be like a third tier before early access.
Well,
This is early, this is before early, this is like we're still building
but
this.
they have
Alpha
that already on
access?
Steam. It's called Request
Yeah.
Access, and there's Alpha Access. It's just they
I guess
wouldn't
so.
want
But
to charge
money
for
doesn't
it.
change hands at that.
Yes, money doesn't change hands. So you're saying maybe you could add like a fee to the Request Access for
But
$20
this feels
thing?
like one of those games. Yeah, this feels like a game that needs
Right.
its own category. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not technically a full game that they released. It's not even an early access
But,
game.
but
They're
the
still-
thing is,
Right,
there
I
really
mean-
needs to be, because we have Kickstarter and those other GoFund, whatever the fuck all those sites are
Right.
that raise money for the purpose of developing a game before it's released. And Steam should
Yeah.
kind of own that space and curate that
Right.
stuff in a correct,
Yeah.
the correct
Incubator.
way. Yeah.
No,
An
I mean, they're not
incubator
being
class.
deceived. I mean, to be fair, it's $27. If they were to perfect this, it could easily be a $40 game. So sometimes you pay less getting in early. It's just that I can't recommend this as an early access title. This really is, okay, it feels like they built this cool world and I can walk around in it, but the shooting doesn't feel right, the movement's not right, the spawning is not right,
But-
and
but-
it's not something
but
that they're
here's
just
the
going to
thing.
fix in 2 weeks.
Again-
This is a lot of work.
Early
you know.
access, by
Right.
definition on Steam's page, fits everything you're saying.
Exactly.
So the tier that we need is the one that Hades 2 went into, where it's just like pretty much done.
Well, just like when a game releases in full, not all games are created equal. and Not
polishing
all
phase.
early access are created equal.
Right.
And luckily, there is a good review system. There are videos out there. There's podcasts you can listen to like ours where we try these things for you and we sort of give you our honest take. So for me personally, I mean, I appreciate what they're doing. There's so much cool about it, the atmosphere and stuff. But once I was kind of trying to shoot stuff and feeling how clunky it was, and the spawn, it's like you'll just get people spawning on your heads, and then you can get animation stuck where you're walking and your gun's in the air and they are still being honest, like, well, we're going to work on that. And so it's like, give these guys time if you want to support it. Yeah, but it's not a polished early access experience. So on the other side of that, here's a game, Witchfire, which has had 2 early access periods. The first one on the Epic Game Store. The second one now just released on Steam in early access. Now, this is from former developers who did Painkiller, Bulletstorm, Vanishing of Ethan Carter. It's only 12 people, but there is a lot of talent behind this game with Witchfire, and you feel that immediately. So it is very cool. It looks a bit like Hunt Showdown. The gunplay feels just like a gothic Destiny to me. Like the jumping, the movement, the shooting, it feels really, really, really good. So this early access, though, is not there yet for me yet because they have this beautiful, and graphically it's awesome too, but they just need more of a hook for this game. So this is also an early access. Like everything's ready, but like the hook of the game, I feel like it's just a little bit too grindy right now for what it actually is. So let's talk about what it is. It is a third-person RPG shooter look at all these tags they put on Souls-like extraction game, and it does have elements of all these things. I mean, it's sort of a bit out there with what it is at first when you're playing, but once you get the hook, it's pretty cool. It's just I think they need more of a hook to get you to want to keep playing. So you sort of get in and you're in this cool gothic hub world. You get to pick from like one of 9 classes. I picked a saint, and it's gunplay mixed with magic, and like I said, really feels like Destiny, I think, completely, and in a good way. Like the shooting, like if you like Destiny, you're gonna like the feeling of this. Now, it's not co-op. I think it needs co-op, but I also think it needs more of a hook. So let's get back to kind of more
This is
of what
like
you do.
Destiny with pilgrims?
Yeah, take
No,
me
not
through
pilgrims.
10
It's
minutes of this game.
gothic. So
am I
you get
doing?
it.
They
I
have,
think
like,
you might
pilgrim
like this,
hats
Matt.
on.
It's a
I'm really
roguelike,
interested.
but it's the difficulty of a Souls game, so a bit more like
Oh,
a
it's a
Remnant.
roguelike?
But the yes, but
Remnant
the
2? I
a
love
little bit like Remnant
2.
2, and the new DLC for Remnant just came out today, by the way, the Dark Horizons, their third and final one. I'm probably just going to go play that instead of this, but here's why. This game, Witchfire, though, is one to watch once it comes out of its second early access, and here's why. Like, so you get in there, Matt, and you are in this hub world, this church. It sort of feels like a Soulsy hub, you know, where it's like go out and kill the 5 bosses. You go out
Yeah.
on these expeditions to these cool sort of, I don't know, like abandoned witch towns, and your goal is to kill the witch in each town or her helper, whoever it is, like the acolyte or
Okay.
something like that. So
Are you beamed to
Sounds
these
like
missions,
Puritans
or
to
do you
me,
walk to
Michelle.
them?
Yes, you feel. It feels like
Yeah.
you're in Salem, John, but like
Yes.
more of a badass, like European Salem. It has like Italian vibes
Very
to it, like
astute.
cliffs and
Right.
monasteries. There's maybe some medieval French stuff going on. So yeah, and you get in there and you do these little expeditions on these sort of smallish maps, these hub worlds. I wish it was one big open world, like, 'cause
That's what
that
I'm
would have taken
wondering.
this game to the next level if all
Sure.
these places were connected. Maybe they'll do that. But right now, you sort of portal into them, which is kind of a popular thing these days, and even Destiny, you do that, and you kill a bunch of stuff. You're earning a currency, so you can, if you can get back out with that currency, if you can extract it, you start leveling up your character, which gives you access to more things at the home base, like being able to craft potions or level weapons or change your gear or unlock different bosses to kill. So that has a bit of that Remnant portal thing going on there too. And like I said, this has so much like polish already with how the shooting feels, the movement feels, the character, like everything is perfect. Like graphically, I'm blown away by this game, and performance-wise, it's awesome. So the only thing
Looks
they have to do
impressive.
now,
Sure.
it is impressive. It's a $40 title. People are saying for the gameplay it's too expensive. But and that's where I'm kind of sympathetic to, like, they need more of a hook because it's very grindy. You're going back in over and over and over into the same map, okay? Because you're trying to get currency. Like, I just unlocked enough currency to open up a secret place in my base, and then it's like, well, now you need to hold 12,000 currency at once to get to this certain level. And it's like, well, I've got to hold this currency. I can't even spend it. So now I'm running around over and over and over. And if you die, you lose your currency. You have to go back in and get it. So there's the Souls-like element. But like, I can't knock this game. Like, this is one where it's like, holy shit, this game's badass. There's actual talent behind
This could be
Witchfire.
really good. Yeah.
It's going to be really good once they get the hook down, I think, a little bit, like massage it a little bit more. This is something that I think will come out of early access in maybe 6 months or a year with like phenomenal, like a better gameplay loop, but like the set pieces are here and you can actually play and enjoy this now. It is getting decently reviewed, but some of the negativity I'm sympathetic with, people saying needs more of a hook, and I agree. I
What's
found myself
this-
kind of feeling
yeah.
the grind too much.
Dark fantasy. I was gonna ask, what's this genre? Because remember,
Oh yeah,
last year there was
gothic
another
dark
game.
fantasy.
I love this kind of genre too. But
Me
what
too.
Was the, like,
This
the
is-
first?
Well, especially
Wasn't
coming
the
out playing
last year?
Space
Was it like
Marines
a-
with the gothic castles. Last year,
Yeah, I love
Remnant,
that too.
Hunt
But there was another
Showdown.
one about a guy fighting vampires, like a Western versus vampires game. John, I think you played it.
Well, that's the
Dead,
game I was.
Evil Dead 2.
That's the game I
No,
was
it was
thinking
like
of.
that.
The Western first-person.
Evil West. Evil,
Yes.
Evil
Dead
West.
West.
Yes,
Okay.
it's got Evil
Yeah,
West
yeah,
vibes
I
to
was
me,
going to
and
say
I
that
love
before because I was thinking that immediately when I started looking at the screenshots. But Evil
Yeah.
West was more of a linear, just
Different game.
first-person
but
shooter.
It
Yeah.
Yeah.
gives me the same feel.
I would describe this as a roguelike Destiny 2 as far as what it feels like, but the look is pure gothic, dark
What-
fantasy, pulling no punches, like
So the
spooky,
rogue
scary,
aspect
dark,
is what?
badass,
What is the
awesome. I love it.
You-
The roguelike aspect is you keep going back in, and it's you have to, and it's like
And it
you have to keep
changes,
going back
or-
in, and
okay.
you're built. Well, there's a meta progression system,
Okay.
so you have to keep queuing, and you get stronger, and you
Ah.
might die, but you're taking something out
But
with
you're
you that
doing
you're
the same
extracting.
level potentially many times.
Yes.
getting more
and
buff
there's
each time.
Exactly. Yes. But I really like a lot of Witchfire. Unfortunately, though, I said, like, if they can just give us polish the gameplay a little bit, maybe add co-op if that's possible, because it's hard to compete with Remnant, which I think is a great co-op game. When you're offering us this, and I like the movement in this better. Like, Remnant, I think, is a great game. The movement can be a little clunky intentionally, though. It's supposed to feel that way. You don't feel any of this game feels smooth. This game feels clean, okay? So this in a co-op form would be phenomenal. So I hope they do that. But Witchfire is out for its second early access. It came out yesterday or on Steam, today on Steam. $40. I really do think you should check this out. If you can handle the grind for just no other purpose than the love of shooting, yeah, check out Witchfire. I think when it comes out of early access, a lot of talent behind it and very, very cool. Just needs some more, but I love the look of it, everything about it. So are you going to play God of War Ragnarok on PCs? Boom Musa is asking me. I kind of talked about this on our Subs podcast, John, that we do on Discord. It's kind of like I'm not in the mood for it. I played about a quarter of it on PlayStation with my sister. I think it's more of a Christmassy thing for me. Matt, I don't know. Did you play the second God of War? I forget.
Oh, yeah. No, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I want to play it. I want to finish it. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, not a mood thing. It's a wintry kind of thing for me. And
Oh, I
there was
get
just
it.
so much
It's-
to play this week.
It's a different vibe to get into a God of War game.
Yes.
So I totally.
Yeah.
And winter would be amazing, too, with this kind of game. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's all frosty and yeah.
That's one of the few like single player story games I actually like and really enjoy playing. So I want to make sure I'm in the mood. I just came off of Warhammer Space Marines, so I'm kind of like, I kind of just did that. But that gothic feel of that kind of fit perfectly with Witchfire. Like I was in another cathedral with like choirs and like it's just really, really
War
cool.
in the background.
Yeah. So Witchfire, good early access experience. But I think it needs a little bit more. All right, so let's move on quickly. What else did I play? Okay, so Frostpunk 2. Did you play it all, Matt?
No, but tell me,
Okay.
please.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm torn on Frostpunk 2, okay, because they've done a lot with this game. They've added, like, a sandbox mode or whatever, Utopia Builder. I didn't try that. But this game is just larger scale versus the first game and for good and bad,
Really?
right? So it's
The
a
first game
little
was so
overwhelming.
intimidating.
The first game is very intimidating in more ways than one. So if you don't know, it's sort of like it's not really like a city builder. It's like a grand strategy game, okay? But this game is the epitome of things aren't good, okay? Because
Yeah.
it's
It's the John
stressful.
game.
People
You're
are
making
yelling.
decisions to starve people,
Yes.
right?
Generator's
Yeah,
broken.
well-
To
Things
save-
not good.
And they're
to
just
save
saying
coal.
the worst shit. It's like I thought it couldn't get worse than feeding kids sawdust soup in Frostpunk
It's
1, but
feeding
now
kids to
I've
other
got
kids now, bro.
Yeah, they're yelling their fingers fell off, that they have frostbite and they're hungry, and I think they're eating the fingers now. I
Can you
really
make
do think they're
finger
eating
soup?
fallen fingers. I don't you probably
That's-
can.
Did you
They're
find
like,
that recipe or?
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to
You
eat
gotta
yellow
unlock
snow
that.
again. So yeah, you're serving like yellow snow soup. But okay, so the larger scale than the first one is like, so it used to be separate buildings. Now it's more like a district you can open up. So you do that by frost breaking into like a whole zone. So you have to frost break an area first before you build sort of like a little hub area. So it's like citizens
Why don't
also
these people
operate.
leave? Just get on a plane.
I don't know.
And get out of this fucking
Dude,
frigid hellhole.
that's no
They
point.
can't.
What?
Yeah, they
They're
need
not
your
choosing
grandpa's
this
spice.
lifestyle.
John, your big sausage energy could maybe save the yellow piss soup or yellow snow soup, whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't have spice. Spice is a luxury. These guys don't have anything. They're eating fingers, okay? So now the people also act as more of like a hub, like a faction. Just like it's not individual buildings, it's more of like a district. The citizens now seem to act more as a faction when you're moving them around, and there's different like ways to please them or piss them off. They went big on everything. So I did the tutorial, and I was definitely confused at first, even as somebody who played the first one.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
definitely bigger and more complicated. It feels like a grand strategy game. The reason why I'm torn on it is like if you haven't played these, and they're both on Game Pass now, I believe. I kind of feel like the first one
Really?
is still just as good and maybe the better one to play, but
Interesting.
but if you
The
if you
aesthetic
want that
of this
grander,
game to me is off the charts.
badass.
Like
It is. It
it's
is.
off.
It's another one
it's
that I love this.
off
I
the
love this
charts.
script.
Yep.
I
it
did
is.
try the first one for a very brief moment. I don't remember why or how, but I know I did. And it's a lot to take in, though, right? This game.
Oh, it's a lot to take in. But
Yeah.
the first one was like palatable for me. This one, I have to admit,
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I just was in the mood, but
Right.
it felt overwhelming, like and kind of a little
This is a
tedious
lot.
to start. It's a lot, but I think it's going to pay off if you're willing to put the time. If you like one of those 4-time strategy games or
I'm going
whatever, where
to.
there's a lot. But this,
Well, look,
it's
I
a
played-
great Game Pass get.
I played the first one like 50 hours, and I only beat it once. But I
Okay.
learned so much about the game.
I'm
And
bad
it
at
was-
this game. My people died.
I'm really bad at this game.
I may have to put it on easy. I'm on like the second. I don't know. I was like, I may need to. I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to like get your ass kicked a few times or something. But it's brutal. Like, and it's
Yeah.
like, it's
And you
not
make
like a
brutal
friendly.
decisions.
Yeah.
Is
you
this
do.
game
So,
that, by the way, AMD has a video card branded with this? Like, is this game that big of a deal?
It's pretty popular. Like
yeah, it has
everyone
a
who
good.
the top
Yeah.
10 list has Frostbite.
And for good reason. Like, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, they
Yeah.
went, like, they doubled down on, I think, the difficulty, on the size, like, the scale of it. And so, like, a lot of people were saying, oh, thank you for the sub, Sniper Wolf, and hope you have a better day today. He was saying he, like,
Thanks, Sniper Wolf.
had a bad day the other day in Discord. So, yeah, I just, if you don't mind that, like, okay, I've got to sit down and concentrate on this and really learn this game through this hour tutorial. Like, you're gonna love this setup. So I'm gonna
I'm
play
gonna do
more,
it.
but it's a great Game Pass game for me. And once again, wintry. I think I might return to this. It's snowy. It's like frozen hell. It's really well done. It's just like they went big with this for better
On
and
Xbox,
worse, I think.
Xbox Game Pass on Xbox Game Pass as well.
Yeah, that's our. We'll talk about that in our February
That's the other
sec show.
website.
And then really quickly, kind of the thing I enjoyed most this week, though, I have to say, was an old game. And Matt, you'll probably understand this more than John because I think you may have played this. So there's been a lot of Batman stuff going on lately. There's a rumor that Rocksteady is working on a new Batman game, which, let's be fair, it's not the original team who made the Arkham games. It's the people who did Suicide Squad. They already left. So I know. But The Penguin's on HBO right now. I've been watching it. It's a good show. I'm in a Batman mood. It was also the 85th anniversary of Batman. So I'm like, I wonder what Batman games I've missed. And I happened to see Batman, the Telltale series from 2016. Not the sequel, the first original one. Did you ever play it, Matt?
Yeah, definitely the first season.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, what a great story. Like, probably, like, I don't know. I love the way they tackle the story in this game, and I've been having a good time, quote, playing. So I got it for $3 on a key site. It's $15 on Steam.
pretty
Don't
good.
judge. For $3, like, I'm doing this like a real, I mean, it feels like a real show. That's how good this game is, and I missed it back in the day.
And what
Like,
kind
it's
of
broken
Batman
up
do
into
we have?
episodes.
Is he a Dark Knight? Is he...
Yeah, well, he is having some problems with Harvey Dent and Catwoman, of
Okay.
course. But you pick, it's a typical Telltale thing. You pick dialogue, QuickTime events, free to walk around, be in the Batcave. I mean, Alfred, I don't like Alfred. I've been having some trouble with him, but I don't want to give any spoilers away if people do play this, because I know, but the thing is, this is a game where I feel like the gameplay gets in the way of the story. And let me explain, because it's so good where I just want to put my keyboard or controller down and watch this like a Batman animated series. And I
Just
have,
watch it as a movie.
But, but they keep interrupting me to press E or, you know, do a QuickTime event or press left. And it's like, you know what? I was kind of just enjoying the story. Let me just make choices without doing this stupid stuff. I feel like it's just not
you
aging well for
genuinely
me.
can just relax enough and just say, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not playing a
So-
game right now.
It
Like,
needs
you've
to be
done such
done
a
like a
good job.
I have a
Netflix
hard
choose your
time
own
with
adventure
that.
thing.
I have a real
It's
hard
too
time
much.
getting
I can't relax.
I have a hard time getting in that mood where it's like, okay, I'm going to accept the fact there's a story here.
No, I gotta play something. I get so bored with cutscenes.
But
I
Michelle's saying, though, she wants...
I'm saying it's getting in the way for me. I want to
Yeah.
make the choices. Trust me. I
Telltale
want to
does it
tell Harvey.
Fantastic, though. That's the thing.
They
They
did a
tell an
good job.
amazing
It's
story.
just-
Yeah.
It's so good, and it's overwhelmingly positive reviews. People really love this one, and I see why. And I'm not knocking. I'm saying for me, it's where I don't want to press EEQQ up down like I'm playing Indigo
EEQQ.
Prophecy. I just want to pick the
Extra
choice.
life.
I want to make choices that impact the game, and unfortunately, they kind of impact them, but not really. There's still like one ending. But so you may pick: do I want to give this information to Vicky Vale or the police commissioner? You know. So, but there's these choices that I really love making, and dialogue choices I want to make and all this shit. Do I want to be a dick Batman, or do I want to be a good Batman, a bad Batman? Do I want to intimidate Mayor Hill as Batman, or, you know, as Bruce Wayne? There's all these fun choices and stuff, and the story is phenomenal, like I said. But I don't want to have to worry about every second, like, oh, okay, shit, I missed that cue. I was like into the story. So I kind of want like a story
There should
mode
be a
in the
mode.
story game. Yeah.
I'm surprised there isn't a Telltale mode where it's like, you know what, just fuck it, just press A once in a while, and we'll
Yeah,
just tell
or
you
let
the
me just
story.
choose. Give me the dialogue. Let me just choose.
We'll
Don't
choose
make
for
me do
you.
these because
Does
you're
it
not going
tell,
to fail these
Batman's
combat sequences.
origin
Let me
story?
tell you. Yes, it goes back, and in this one, there's something
If I
really
see
interesting
his
going on
parents
with his
getting
parents
killed in
and
the alley
Falcone.
one more time, I'm going to lose
No,
my
I
mind.
love it. It's like a Groundhog
Well,
Day
I don't
thing.
need
That's
to-
what I love
don't
about
wanna
it.
see that over and
I
over
do.
again in every
Yeah, but
fucking
his
movie.
parents in this one,
I
Matt, you
get
probably
it.
don't
His
remember.
parents died in an alley,
No,
okay?
I want
I'm
to
with
see it.
John.
I want to see those motherfuckers drop to the ground. I want to
Overtold
see the
story.
pearls going off.
No, we
No.
don't need to see
no,
that all the time.
You
I
do,
get
because you're
it.
seeing it under a new light every time under a new
There's
universe.
no new
That's the
lights.
good-
It's always his parents
There-
get shot in an
Matt,
alley.
This is a very new light, okay? Do you remember the story of his parents in this game? This is a very,
know,
very
because I'm
Die in
mixing
a
it up
fucking
with,
alley after a show.
Rocksteady.
That's what happens.
No, yeah, but you don't know
Yes.
why. You know what? No. Look, there's a spoiler. I won't.
There is a twist to it. Yeah.
This is not
What
like
is
so.
the
This
twist?
is a story
What could
that's.
the twist possibly be?
They got shot
It's
by a
insane.
shotgun this time.
This is the only time his parents have been shown in this particular light this hard. Like so, yeah. There's something
Didn't
going
like the
on.
dad give her a diamond or something?
Yeah,
or-
Eric says, wait, Batman's parents die? Spoiler alert. Shit. John, you always do this to piss people
Oh
off.
come on! Are you
No.
kidding me? Every fucking movie starts
No.
with his parents
No,
dying
no,
in an
people don't
alley.
know that.
Pretty
They thought
Bruce
they were
Wayne
his
is Batman
friends.
too, but I didn't see the last
No,
one.
wait, don't say that. Don't say that. Harvey Dent is Two-Face. Yeah, look, I really like this game though. Like quote unquote game. I'm not into the Telltale stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
know
get it.
there's a couple good ones out there, but this is a really good Batman story. Okay,
You should try
so,
Fable.
Fable.
Fable. Telltale did like a Fable
Oh.
season about imaginary characters in the real world, but it's like a really like dark, gritty police story.
The wolf,
Okay,
It's
the
not
wolf
I've
among
never
us.
heard of
Fable.
that one. I haven't heard of
Sorry,
that one.
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
It's the wolf
Tell-
among us.
The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, Wolf Among Us. That's
Yeah,
the one.
yeah, that's there too. So I don't know, Batman Telltale series. If you're a nerd like me and you like Batman and like Batman comics and like animated series rather, and like all the movies and stuff, and if you're watching The Penguin, you want a good story. Like I really like the story, but stop interrupting me to hit Q. All right, I'm not gonna. You just like you can't fail really. Like it's not hard. So I don't know
Yeah.
what happened to Telltale. Didn't Netflix buy them and then not do anything? I forget. ESP is asking. I don't remember. I think they got
That's
sold
true.
or they went on. Something bad happened. Bruce Wayne got to them. Or Bruce Wayne's parents.
No, they tried to.
Yeah. They didn't die in the alley, John. That's the twist.
Netflix did not buy Telltale, but the two
Something bad
companies did
happened.
have a partnership that led to the release of Minecraft Story Mode on Netflix.
Which they erased from existence, and I'm really upset because I want to let my daughter watch it.
Well, Netflix needs to be doing stuff like this, and not with Bear Grylls survival choices. You remember that? It was like, do you want to go after the bear or the rattlesnake? It was like a
Yeah, I
really
do.
bad version of, would you rather lick your grandmother's ass or like watch your mom bang your dad or something?
Actually,
it was like
grandmother's
stupid.
ass.
would this
every
be a
day.
good
Yeah,
Netflix
grandmother's ass.
remote control game?
Yes, exactly. But just dumb it down to where I only make choices because this is a good enough story
Now, are
to
you
stand on
moving
its own.
around in the world, or
Yes,
is it,
you can walk
okay,
around the
okay.
Batcave. You're walking around the manor. You're doing certain things. So there's like detective work, like Cyberpunk. You're investigating crimes because you know Bruce Wayne or Batman was known as like the best detective ever. So there's like a lot of detective work here,
Detective
John.
Comics, Michelle.
Yeah. So it's intense, okay? But once again, these scenes piss me off. Every time I was like having to like, I don't want to do this shit. Just let me make choices because it's not good gameplay. Let's be real. Linking like a dead body and a bullet is not good gameplay, okay? But they told such a great story and the voice acting and the choices is really good. So Batman Telltale series. All right, so other than that, yeah, it was a busy week. There's 5 things I just brought up. I'm going to move on. I am drinking 1 true lime, 1 true lemon, and water.
Whoa.
John, tell me all about
I don't know. Can you
UFO
do that?
50 and oh yeah, it's good.
You can combine
Yeah,
them.
water with 1 true lemon, 1 true lime, delicious.
Now,
that
do you,
make,
do you
like,
go
ammonia
to
or
a bar and say
It almost-
that?
it might
You should-
explode.
I want you to go to a bar
A
and
bar?
request
Can I
that.
have water with lemon and lime in it? They'll be like, they're gonna look at me funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, go to
You
a
guys-
bar and say you want a Kirkland,
I'm not going to a bar.
Kirkland
first of all.
spring water with 1 true
Yeah.
lemon, 1 true lime.
A Kirkland?
Yeah, Costco.
What is this? No, this is spring. I don't want
Kirkland,
that.
the
I
best
don't.
of the best.
I don't. No, this is flat water. It's normal water. It's just water with true lemon, true lime. There's no sparkles going on here. Would you rather? Yeah, let's not read that. All right, John, UFO 50. Tell me about this game that you hated at first, and then I told you to stick with it because there's secrets, and now I bet you like it. What is this game? There's drama around it or hype.
Ooh, what's this game?
You don't know UFO 50?
Oh, UFO 50. Yes, I've heard a lot of good things. They're good things, right? It's a good game, please.
Spelunky guy.
Yeah, so, yeah, Spelunky guy made UFO 50. And I went into
What's
this.
his background? Sorry. Is that I'm supposed to be.
The game Spelunky. It's like a Montezuma's Revenge
Oh, okay.
kind of
Gotcha.
platformer 8-bit
Pretty fun.
thingy. But, okay, so I went into this game with high expectations, okay? Because I loved Retro Game Challenge so much on the DS. And I thought that this was going to be a Retro Game Challenge game. Now, Retro
too.
Game Challenge on the DS, which is a game that we talked about like 15 years ago or longer. Was a game with I don't remember it exactly, but basically the gist was you were a kid at like your uncle's house, or I don't know where the fuck you were, but you were in a living room with a console and a bunch of games, and you had to complete challenges playing these bullshit NES games, right? And they were just fictional NES games. And you played them, you play the first one, you have all these challenges, and then that will unlock the next one. And then you do the next challenges, and that one unlock the next one, okay? So I thought going in, that's what this game was gonna be. So right away, I launched the game, and I have all 50 games unlocked. Which actually upset me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, so you've got 50 fictional NES era games.
That's too much at once. It's like,
Well, I kind of thought that was bad game design, okay? And I was thinking, okay, so you want me to just randomly start picking these games and playing them. Games I've never heard of. They're all made up from that 8-bit era. And it's a lot of them all at once. And the thing about Retro Game Challenge that I love so much was that you were basically forced to get good at each stupid game, but, you know, to get the next one, right? And so none of that was here. And so I was kind of like, let me pick this game. And I'm like, oh, this is stupid. And then I back out. Let me pick this game. And I play
it's like getting one of those ROMs, like
right.
ROM dumps on a disc where it's like 50 things you don't want.
Yeah.
Too much choice, so you can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, I played this one for 30 seconds and it looks stupid.
These look amazing,
Let's
though.
back
Like,
out.
each of these-
Let me play
These
this
games
game.
look really cool.
Yeah, but
Are you
Matt,
Pat from SNL? I think I saw you on the Sony State of Play today.
let me try this game. This looks
Tell me
dumb.
why this isn't
Back out.
amazing, because this
Okay,
looks like a
all right,
point-and-click
okay,
game,
so-
platformer.
all right.
I know why it isn't amazing, because he's like, I did this already. I played Retro Game Challenge. I
Yes,
discovered
God
this
damn
type
it,
of game
this-
first. I lived
This
this.
is
I
bad
played
amazing
NES
design,
games.
and I'm telling you right now, I know how to do this better. Okay,
That's right.
That's what I was
I knew
thinking.
it.
Yeah.
Can I suggest, though,
Yes.
because I read an article about this game, they wanted every game unlocked because the actual game is playing them and understanding the connections between the games,
Okay,
seeing how they
all right.
evolve
So
through
let's
the
talk
ages.
about that. Okay.
Okay.
So once I got past the this game, okay, I started reading stuff. I started reading stuff within the game. So every cartridge has like a story and info, and because this studio was like UFO something, that's why it's called UFO 50. Okay. So this fictional studio that made all these games throughout the years, and by the way, the cartridges, the 50 cartridges that you see is basically a timeline of the studio. From the first game, which they said was made by the founders on their spare time when they were working for some other company, to the last game where they were fully, you know.
So the technology changes through the years like a video game changes.
Not
The graphics
really, though.
get
It's
better.
still- it's
That's
still-
what I heard.
it's-
It's like a trip down memory lane.
But it's still
I saw.
it stays within the NES lane though. But the game.
Now I'm Pat too.
Yeah.
We're all Pat now.
This game, I don't like it.
Kids totally know who Pat is.
They get it. They get it.
But
Google it.
the games don't go from like NES to PlayStation 3, Michelle. They stay within the
Okay.
NES constraints, right?
That's cool, though. They go to
Yeah.
SNES levels, I think.
Not
That's fair
really.
to say.
Not really. The last game.
Sounds like John's not impressed.
The
okay?
last game was no. I know NES. I lived it. And
How big are these games? Is
I
my
lived it.
question. Could you
Well,
beat these in an
I
hour?
couldn't even tell you that because
Because you didn't play.
no, because I definitely did not spend hours on a single game. And some of them are you can't because they're hard. They're actually hard like NES era games where.
Why is this not a good game? All you're saying is that it's a lot of. It's 50
Okay,
fully
let me
fleshed out
get
games that are
to
hard.
the magic
That sounds great.
let me get to the magic I discovered in the game. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're playing these games, you pause it, right?
Yeah.
And when you when you pause the game, there is an option called terminal. And if you select that, it brings up a terminal that shows you the source code, right? All hex and
Oh, can you edit it?
no, you can't. But what you're supposed to do is pick pieces out of the source code and enter them in, and that's a code. But here's the magic of this game that I didn't realize at first. When you go to terminal, it's context. It's based on context. So if you're on the menu screen, the code you see in terminal is different than if you're on the first screen when the game's playing, and which is different than the screen when you go to the left, which is different than the screen when you go to the right. So this game basically wants you to keep checking the terminal because not always will there be a code in there. For instance, the very first game, which I think is called, I don't know, something with a B. The very first game is like this little like Metroidvania kind of platformer thing, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the terminal when the game starts, there's really nothing in the code that you can use. But if you go to the left and then you look at the terminal, suddenly there's something in that code that's useful. And you take that you take those 2 words, you input them in, and you type them in and press enter, and then all of a sudden it boots another game that's not
crazy.
in the UFO 50.
There's a lot of secrets. I saw a Reddit thread with like all like pages.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you about one rabbit hole I went down. So I go to the left of the first game. I'm just giving you guys a pro tip here. First game, go to the left, go to terminal. There will be a very obvious code. Put it in. That will take you to another game that is not part of the 50 games. That game puts you in a room, a weird, creepy room with a computer and boxes and a ladder. And eventually what happens is you turn the power on, which allows you to turn the computer on, which then allows you to put one of the floppy disks in that you found in a box, which then boots another game.
Is it another shitty game you don't like, John? Is that the problem?
No, but there's
Inscription. It sounds like Inscription in a sense. Like,
but there's something
the craziness
about this little loop that's very unique to itself and fun. And almost it's a game within a game within a game within a game. And it's also trying to tell some fucked up story. I don't quite know what it is just yet, but something happened with this company and these people and all this stuff. And it's hidden in the source code.
Okay.
So
you've just sold me this game. So
really,
this is your game of the year, right?
I don't know. I'm so conflicted about it because as someone that was a very nerdy kid that was doing BBSs and coding.
You played that game before.
Like,
get it.
So did the guy who made this. John's calling him some kid. He's 40 years old.
Okay, whatever.
So it's
I'm
like
just
the guy
saying,
who made this lived it too. You're not the only one who lived it. We all had Nintendo systems growing up.
Like
I lived this, you young whippersnapper.
No, I'm talking about
what are you talking
just
about?
like tinkering under the hood, wanting to do little detective things like this.
Yeah.
There's something really nerdy about looking at the code. Most of the time it's gibberish. Every now and then you would see something that makes sense in the code. You put it in, and it takes you down some just fucking rabbit hole in the game. And some of the games are pretty fun, though. There's the last game I really like, and I played it multiple times. It's kind of like this weird Russian Attack clone. Remember the game Russian Attack by Konami? So there's a lot of games that are like you'll recognize from other games. You know, there's like shmups, there's platformers.
This to me is sounding like play
Metroidvanias.
Bejeweled to see a nipple. It's like Matt's porn games. I feel like that's what it's sounding like to me.
Yeah.
These games look legit fun though. Like I see a Deja Vu. Do you remember that game
If they're
Deja
fun.
Vu on the NES? The detective one.
I don't think I played that.
This is my favorite game.
Yeah.
But like it was a point and click. It was an early point and click. So there looks like
Okay.
one of those. Kind of Mappy's Land Sport. I'm gonna get into this. I got too many.
I think
games
you
now.
will. It's got good reviews, to be fair. And John, you do think it's worth
Is
looking
it on
at, right?
console though?
This game?
I don't know if it's on console.
I don't know if it is either.
It'll come there maybe eventually, or at least Switch.
No,
It
just-
is. It is on. No,
But Matt, you still have a PC, and it's like these games can play on anything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
I
this
can
is
do this game. I
It's
can
just
do this
it's
game.
only on PC. Yeah. And,
Okay.
and by the way, it's a perfect deck game, a Steam Deck game.
Okay.
Listen, I kind of stick with my original stance, though. I think I would. Okay, the detective thing is fun, and the terminal thing is definitely fun because it really changes how you play these games. Because once I realize that the code and the terminal changes depending on what screen you're on, makes me constantly check the terminal, right? So like I'll play. I'm on screen A. You know, I jump around, I kill some guys, I go to the right. Now I'm on screen B. Go to the terminal again. You know, it's like you're constantly doing that. And there's a bunch of terminal commands that will like you can actually like, control this kind of pseudo computer, like to reboot, go to the main menu. You can load games from it. Like there's all these commands that people are finding. Like it's not just what I described. Like
I
you,
like that.
you can actually like control the system that it's running on. So
Ooh, maybe you can get out of it to his desktop Windows and go in his folder, and Matt can do some
can I be a
voyeur
peeper?
shit.
yeah.
Yes, you're gonna look at his like dick collection.
Right.
He's got that titled like
So, I mean, listen,
Tiny winker.
there's a lot of things I really appreciate about what's going on here because I do like...
Yeah, it's creative.
It's very creative. I do think, though, that limiting the choice would have been a bigger hook to get you into the game.
Yeah, unlock the
I see
games so you
that.
can play them.
More
But
progression.
also, I give them credit for not telling you there's no setup. You're just dumped into 50 games. There's no story. There's no setup. It doesn't tell you that there's a terminal. It's just you have to discover everything in the game. And again, I appreciate that too because that takes a little bit of balls to do that, right? Not have like some tutorial.
And it's in the spirit of a retro game where you
Yeah.
weren't handheld to everything,
Right.
and you figured it out, and there wasn't the internet to look everything up,
Right.
and so that's cool.
And I'll say this: all the games have some goals too, which is redeeming. But you get like little trophies or something. Like it'll say like if you see like 50
love it.
Matt.
50 levels.
This is of me.
Yeah. So
Voyeurism, trophy
Yeah.
hunting.
yes.
You got to crack. You've got to get out to his desktop. I'm telling you, that guy's got something in his folder.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so each game has like 2 goals basically, Matt. Like the first game I know is like the first game's like a Metroidvania style game. So you have to if you get to 50 screens, you get like the trophy for that. I know that's one of them. And I got to like 30. And the games aren't exactly like super easy at all. They're not. They're like
It's different. I like it though. It's,
they're
it's
good
something
old
different.
8 school games. Like back in the day when I was a kid, I got some NES game that would maybe take 2 hours to finish, if you were really good at it, but it might have taken me 2 months to get those 2 hours done because you're always starting from the
Right.
beginning,
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do recommend it. I think if you like what I'm saying, then you'll totally dig it.
Love what you're saying, buddy. Love what you're saying.
But other than that, I played Plucky Squire.
Oh,
Yeah, so Matt's
wait.
going to talk about it. Jump in.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
and
talk about it together.
pick it up.
We can do a
you
2D
drinking?
table for that one.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. I'm drinking Galactic Vagabond.
All right, play a song, Tiger. We'll be right back. like what's going on in the background of the song, but the foreground's a bit much for me. Drum
Yeah,
machine.
it's got some like,
I like the
cybery vibes going on.
yeah, I like the background cybery synthwave vibe, but I don't.
I'll put on
Those bongos are a little too. What's that
I'll put
lady
on
from
the soundtrack to the Inside when I'm working. And it's
yeah.
so atmospheric. I think Ted put it on.
Yeah. He called Inside the official Discord, big game of the Discord, because he got a bunch of people to buy it and play it. He gifted it to me and I played it. It was interesting.
Did you ever get to the end? Because the end was just like.
I didn't get to the end. I went to
Okay.
It was creative though. Little chickens that you think you're gonna have to kill, chickies, and then.
But the end, like the ending, just goes off the rails in like a fantastic way. That's why I was asking.
Okay.
You should look it up online.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably look at a playthrough or something.
All right,
John.
You're back.
yeah.
All right. All right. Recording.
5, 4, 3, 2, boop. All right, Matt, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. I spent a lot of time over the last 2 weeks with Astrobot.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously.
I'm still playing that, by the way. I didn't mention it. How many guys do you have? I think I have 140 or 50. I'm like halfway
John,
through.
I
only.
platinum this game.
Wait, you
I
finished it? Get
math-platted
the
this.
fuck out!
A week. I was deeply obsessed with this game, and so were like my 2 kids. They have their own files. We were just like going at
So
it.
did you get
weekend
all
long.
300 of the dudes?
All 301 of the dudes, my friend.
Oh, is that one the plat?
I don't want to ruin anything. There's
Okay.
so many like
Yeah, don't.
things that unlock.
Don't, because I
and-
still love it. I'm still playing it,
Yeah.
and I see myself playing it throughout the winter. I'm in no rush to finish it, and I want to enjoy
No.
it. And there's DLC
And
coming. What?
I look forward to like my kids playing because I just love playing it again, like these levels again, and helping them find bots and whatnot. I like that. I don't know what nebula you're on, but I like that the game does get harder.
Yes, the
It
one I'm
does.
on now is getting harder. I'm on the 4th or 5th planet or something. I don't remember the
Phoenix
fucking
or whatever.
the dragon or the octopus or something. I don't
It's
know.
on the left.
What? Yeah,
Top left.
It's on the bottom left, I think, is the one I'm on.
Okay, bottom left. Yeah. But there's so many hidden levels in this thing, and so many different.
But I agree though, it is getting harder. Because
Yeah.
when I played over the weekend, the one level I'm on, I died a lot.
And then you get those special PlayStation challenge levels, like themed on each of the buttons of the PlayStation, which are like X, O, triangle.
Wait,
And
John,
those
you
are
were
a whole
showing me an
other-
article where people like the soulless dedication to Astrobot to Sony is
Yeah,
evil. Like
I did.
there are people. Explain that because there were 2
it's-
articles.
Yeah, there's articles right now
Yeah.
saying that people are upset because this is such a what was the language?
It was weird. It was like it's celebrating Sony and it's shameless. It's like that's the point of the game.
Isn't that the
And it's-
entire Nintendo lineup? Super Mario Party,
Yeah.
Super
all
Mario.
right,
like,
I gotta find
It's
those
not
articles.
saying anything.
I
It's
gotta-
not political enough or something. It was
No,
like
but-
something insane.
Well, you want to know
Oh my
something
God.
though? I had a weird feeling that this was gonna happen. Like I honestly
Mm-hmm.
thought it because this is so benign and so like safe in every fucking
Innocent.
way, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't find any fault in this, and you can't inject
Yeah.
anything into it because if you did, it wouldn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
yeah. You look like an idiot if you're trying to make this a woke game. You'd be like, "What are you on? This is just
Yeah.
about a little robot,
I
and it's like a
There's-
platforming."
It was weird. It's like now that even Astrobot isn't safe enough. They're writing it like they're. It's weird.
Yeah, can you find those headlines, those articles?
I'll dig away while Matt talks about stuff.
It's dumb.
It's
So no,
weird.
Astrobot, definitely a contender for Game of the Year for me. And we'll talk about it in the news, but they announced more content for it, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, they did free DLC.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it because that's my favorite type of DLC for the Astrobot games.
What do you mean, man? Okay,
Well, I'm teasing. I'm teasing the news section. Yeah.
But,
I'm also
but
look,
you know,
what?
to go back to those articles that were saying that
Yeah.
this game
Here we
is,
go.
Okay.
I'm worried the robot in Astrobot isn't attractive enough for me to. Oh no, that was the thing. Kotaku wrote an article, "Why We Deserve Better Than Astrobot. Its soulless devotion to the Sony brand is a real problem." That was one of the articles. Soulless devotion to the Sony
I mean,
brand is
okay,
a real
first of all,
problem, Kotaku.
fuck the fuck off.
Crap,
Have you heard of a
Kotaku.
game called Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or or
Marvel All-Stars,
yeah,
Street
exactly.
Fighter,
The multiverse game, whatever that's called, the Marvel multiverse, whatever.
all the fighting games in the world that like just
you know
are
what?
franchises.
When I was reviewing the game a couple weeks ago with Matt,
God.
I mean, I was saying that this is a love letter to Sony. You're flying
is.
around in a PlayStation ship.
So what? Blizzard's done that. Nintendo's done that.
Your little TIE
Splinter
Fighter
Cell,
is a PlayStation controller. But that's why
they did
Yeah.
a really good job at it.
But
so.
Sony needs to do this. This is very Nintendo because Nintendo.
But they have to have clickbait rage bait at Kentucky. That's what
But
they do.
Nintendo does this all the time. Nintendo leans into its shit all the time and like embraces it, and Sony not so much, really.
It's
right?
a real problem. I like how he said
Yeah.
it's a real problem. It's in the title. It's so
Yeah, Kotaku. Astrobot's soulless devotion to the Sony brand is a real problem.
Astrobot has legit though. Astrobot has so much.
They're
soul
saying
in
that
it, I
it's
think.
corporate.
There's
core.
so much love in
It's
this game.
corporate core, Matt. Does it no favors?
oh, you're just fetishizing the corporations. It says, oh yeah, let me
Licking the
rub that
Sony
Sony
boot.
juice.
Right.
The metal
Yeah,
Sony
Celebrating all of these brands. You could be
Yeah,
Nathan
you're,
Drake.
wow,
How
it's
dare
cool.
you?
God of War's in it,
You
or
could be-
whatever. Like,
Yeah, that's an awesome level. That was a great.
I know, I love that. That was
what?
probably my favorite one when you got that little gun. And like the
Super
you
creative.
could be
Shame.
Kratos, and there's levels based on Ape Escape and Loco
people want you to live in the
Roco.
Chaz zone or something. It's just fucking weird. Like, let people play Astrobot.
They just want the
It's
clicks.
not a
It's all
problem.
about the clicks. The clicks. Okay, very quickly.
And by the way,
'cause I
they're
know,
saying-
what? Okay. we'll
Okay,
go back to this.
I want to back up. Just
Yeah.
so
John's upset.
I am upset. You want to know why? Because they're using my own ammo against me.
What's that?
Yeah, that's true.
This is from that Kotaku article.
I thought you said that.
No,
Nintendo, but anyways,
no, they
yeah.
said something that I say. On the other hand, it's possible and worryingly likely that Astrobot will be taken as another win for IP First, art by committee video games.
No, you say design by committee.
Same
not art
thing.
By committee.
Same
This
thing.
is not a design
Same
by
thing.
committee video game.
This is literally like made by a super small 60-person team.
super creative. Like it's so
It's
a real
critical
problem.
and commercial success attributed
It's a
not
real
to its savviness nor its
The article
economical
April
scope,
1st.
but its
It's just like a
willingness,
troll.
but its willingness to play to expectations.
This game subverts expectations.
No, Matt.
At every turn.
Risk taking in this era of protracted development cycles, inflated budgets, and constant mass layoffs is not
guy is so
unusually
obnoxious.
the operative mode of publishers like Sony.
It's so obnoxious.
Yeah. All right, move on.
When
from
was
this.
the
It's
last
making
time
me-
Yeah.
Sony
I'm gonna
put
start
out
making
something
some jokes
that
about
actually
that.
looked and felt new, Matt?
I loved Astrobot. One of the game of the years for me. For sure. And the fact that
problem.
like it's getting my 12-year-old son back like on the console, I think is pretty telling too. And my daughter. So yeah, it's a family game. Get it, whatever. Okay, Star Wars. Very quickly. I'm 60 hours into this game, and it just keeps on giving. I am invested. This is my whale. I'm gonna platinum this shit. And anyways, so
Nice.
moving on. Yeah, let's talk about Plucky Squire.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
is this
talk
all
about it.
hype or is there something here?
Let's talk about it. So,
We'll talk.
so I was not gonna play this game, but I was being told that I would like it, and also from listeners like Dirk, Dirk, right? Michelle, was that?
Yeah,
his
we
name?
got tweeted saying this is definitely like
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of
Matt
people asked
John
us about
type
this game.
Yeah,
it was one
and
of
I
those
was
that like
told I
hit the
should play
nerve.
it, and it was
Yep.
kind of eating at me. You know, I think I should play it because it's a platformer, kind of at times.
The game is
And
Plucky Squire.
Plucky
He's
Squire.
kind of cranky.
And so it was on PlayStation Plus, but you needed the upgraded subscription, which I did not have.
okay.
I had
Yeah,
the-
neither did I.
Oh, you did. So I had the PS Plus Basic, and so I went in there to upgrade, and it said, and it was prorated. I had to pay like $21, I think, to basically have this new package till the end of the year, around there.
Yeah. I paid like $3, and then they're just gonna charge me the new price in like 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, I had a few more months, but so I paid like $21 or something. Which,
Gotcha.
so I have a decision to make now. Do I go in there and make sure it doesn't renew the deluxe one? Because I
You
haven't.
just bought it on a key site for $20.
No, I wanted to do the PlayStation. I was just in the mood for living room, and
You don't own it at that point.
I fully understand how this works. It was my decision.
I don't know if it was. It's a real problem. This is an article. Let's do it.
So, okay, so going into this, I really avoided looking at a lot of stuff. I knew that there was a 2D, 3D thing going on, but I didn't really know how or why, right? And Matt, when I launched the game, I instantly was sucked into little Big Planet vibes, especially with the narrator,
hyper cute,
and the narrator, and the hyper realistic kind of environment, and the British narrator.
To the point where you can feel the texture of the paper on the book. Like, they've done a phenomenal job of making everything seem, holy crap, the 3D environments are lifelike.
They are. And so what this game is, it starts out, you're playing in a book, okay? Like literally a book. And it's kind of photorealistic. It's a children's book. It's the story of this plucky squire character. When you're inside the book, it's very much like a Zelda top-down style game. Would you agree, Matt?
Yes.
Old 2D Zelda. Hack and slash. You can jump. You get some moves. You get some weapons.
Almost exactly a Zelda-like, I'd say.
Yes.
Like in terms of the sword movements and dodging and everything.
Right. But what I appreciated almost immediately was how good it felt.
Yep.
Democracy has landed.
Do you agree?
Super smooth combat, and the dodging is really satisfying as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can flip around the environment when you're... And I don't know, yeah, it's very basic combat, but it feels good. It slides.
So what do you want to add about, like, the beginning of the game? Like, what were you thinking?
So I went into it knowing there was that whole gimmick, that 2D to 3D, so I was hoping that would happen in the first 10
It doesn't.
seconds.
It takes a while.
It does. It takes a while, so...
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I got to start judging this game on what it mostly might be, which is this 2D game that's a lot like Legend of Zelda. It cleverly uses turning pages to get through environments, and it was fine. My initial impressions were like, okay, this is fine, this is cute. I wasn't overwhelmed.
Right. But I have to say, the 2D stuff on the book those controls, I can't explain what I'm saying, but
they're really good. They're really good.
It just like
not too floaty, not too like
I liked
stodgy,
it immediately. I don't know why, but I just did. Like, I felt like, oh, and this is after I played UFO 50 for whatever, you know. And then I played this. I'm like, oh, this is a game. That's kind of
really good.
Yeah,
it's hard to describe, but once you get it in your hands, it's like, yeah, this is really good, tight platforming. And I like how they go. Like, some pages will be like a
top-down
vertical platformer,
yeah,
and then it goes back to a top-down platform. That's the thing in this game. Like, it switches the game modes a lot.
Right.
You play a lot of like Punch-Out style boss fights.
That's right. That
like
first boss with the Punch-Out style.
Yeah,
I did like that a lot. It's literally Punch-Out, like NES Punch-Out. The first boss.
Yeah. So I thought that was creative, and then there's a little gimmick with there's sentences on the page, so you got to mess around with the words to do it.
I like that
big
too.
Troll, you got to find the small troll, and he shrinks, right?
It says like the forest is calm or whatever, like, and then you remove the word calm, and then
forest is on fire.
Yeah, and then you change that word now, and that changes the whole level, which allows you to get to something you couldn't otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a cute little mechanic. I've seen it done before. I can't remember the game name, but it's not new. Nothing about this game is totally new. Like, if it's really like that Legend of Zelda game where he's going from 2D to 3D environments as well.
Which one?
Yeah, I was looking at who created this game.
Remember
It
on the
was published by
3DS?
Devolver.
It was like Zelda. The whole gimmick was he flattens down, and then he like pops back out into 3D.
Why don't I know what you're talking about?
No, come on,
I thought
Zelda.
you lived this, John.
Is it Minish Camp?
Painting.
Minish Camp? Oh.
2D to 3D. Come on, chat, please help us.
ChatGPT, just ask. They know everything.
I can't even.
What game?
It'll come up. But anyways, it wasn't a very well remembered game, but that was the gimmick. You had a special power, and you go on paper and you manipulate. You go through environments and you pop back out in 3D to do. No, it's not Minish Cap. I'll get into it. Anyway, keep talking. I'm gonna do something.
All right, so Matt.
The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds for the
Oh, that game.
Worlds.
Yeah, ChatGPT.
I hated that game, by the way.
Just all I said is Zelda game pop-up
I did not like
flat.
that game. I'm going on record right
I
now
don't
and
even
saying
know
it.
if that's the right one. But let's move on. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the gimmick. So eventually, when you do, something happens in the book where one of the characters is like, "Holy shit, we're in a book. Well, I'm going to change the ending. I'm going to do my meta magic." And this game is all meta. This game knows it's talking to the game world. Did you find that, John? Where it's just kind of like all the humor and all of it's like talking to the player a little bit.
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall. Or third
Yeah.
wall. Or fourth wall. Fourth wall.
It breaks the fifth wall, and then
Fifth wall?
yeah. So that first time he pops out is a cool moment, right?
It's a very cool moment. Again, bringing me back to Sackboy with the real environment. Like, and it is kind of photorealistic. And what Matt's saying is like, we don't want to spoil really the story, right? About why he gets ejected from the book.
Yeah, it's cute. It's a cute story.
It is a cute
Are
story.
people really caring about the Plucky Squire story spoilers of this
You
cartoon game?
need to
I don't
care
want
about the story because there's a
Oh
lot of
no!
story.
Why was he
This
ripped from the
interrupts you.
book? Because his fantastical fictitious dog was
No.
pooped in the neighbor's.
No.
Like what?
Why is Batman
His
upset? Because
princess
his parents
was
were killed in
sold.
an alley.
Yeah, but you can't compare Batman to the Plucky Squire.
I think we
Matt.
can. This is
It's a
modern
cute.
day.
There's not too many
is not-
spoilers, anyways.
Nobody's
but
gonna
he's
care
on
about
a
the story in Plucky
journey.
Squire.
I'm
If
not
you're a
ruining the
listener and you're
story-
mad that
story.
these guys spoiled Plucky Squire story, you
No,
better
I'm not
reach your
ruining
hand
it.
down your pants right now and
Because
jiggle your
it
balls
takes-
because they're
it
not
takes-
there, guys.
It takes like almost an
If
hour
you're upset
to
about a
get to that
Plucky
point.
Squire story spoiler and you're a grown man, we have to
I'm
talk.
not ruining it. I'm not going to
I've
ruin
got a
it.
workshop
It's a
for
good
you.
story.
It's called Find Your
So-
Balls.
Lips are sealed.
So
Lips
there's
are sealed.
there's kind of like
Anatomy.
a Toy Story kind of story going here with the kids.
I'm not even
in the
gonna say
room.
yes or no to that.
Be careful. You already picked Kiwi Powder says that's it. I'm never coming back. I was looking forward to the story of Plucky the Squire. You have ruined it.
But look,
All
okay,
right.
so when he's jumping around, he's on this like art desk, and when he's out in the real world, he makes tasked with finding an object that he can bring back into the storybook. And the real world, it looks so. It sounds again, but it looks so real. And then you're finding little doodles that you can become 2D in, and you're using those to like go over.
Joining the fray.
It's a really good effect. I think they do it really well.
It is a good effect. I have to admit, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I like being in the 2D world better than the 3D world in this game.
Yeah, I know it's not. 3D looks cooler.
Yes.
2D is a better game. Like it's just,
Okay, so you agree with me because I'm not
Yeah.
wrong, right? Like,
yeah, it's just kind of they stretch on a little bit, and you're like, I'm not actually enjoying the gameplay. Like I like looking around. Like they're doing a good job at making a dollhouse, or
Orbital inbound.
Yeah.
but it's yeah.
You said you're spoiling setup.
Ah shoot! I mean,
Yeah.
Shit.
generic toy house that you
Yeah,
have to
there
open
you
to
go.
get a key. I think it does a lot of cool little interesting ideas. There's one segment where you've got to get a bow, and you realize there's like a Magic the Gathering card with an elf and a bow high up on this like cardboard castle. And so the 3D level is navigating this castle, going into its like little drawings to get through it. That's a creative concept. And then you have an RPG battle with the elf once you meet her. So I like that. I like games now that just like Astrobot that just like zig and zag a lot with
Right.
the gameplay.
yeah, there's like
that's
there's
what
a
this game
scene
does.
where you're in the 2D world with a rabbit who's blocking an entrance,
Yeah.
and there's carrots in the 3D world. So you go out
Carrots
there.
and rabbit. You're spoiling again.
You get a carrot, and then you jump back in the book with the carrot, and you give it to him. and
Carrot
then-
with a vegetable. Don't. I mean, a rabbit with a vegetable.
but
A lupine.
listen,
with the,
Yeah.
I do think this game is special.
Special.
I do. I really do. I think they're doing
Well,
something. that's-
Devolver is good at curating, and this was made
but
by
this
their
is
first game.
but this is like
company.
most Devolver games have a lot of retro bit stink on them. This does not at all.
yeah, this feels pretty tight.
Like this
only-
feels like
yeah.
a real modern big game. And if Media Molecule, who made Little Big Planet, made this, you wouldn't question it.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, this is a first-party Sony game." That's how it feels. It does not feel indie in any way, shape, or form to me.
No, it's super.
And
super
even the
polished.
2D sections,
Tagging map.
that art
Southwest.
style is
Far.
fucking. I love it so much, and the way it feels, the way it looks, the
way
like,
it animates on the page.
the way it
you look like
animates-
you're playing a book.
God.
Like it look like a storybook. It's really well done.
yeah. So
I will say,
Yes.
John, I don't know if you found this. a little hand-holdy, and it doesn't stop being a hand for me, anyways.
Okay,
just
I'm
like,
gonna
it seemed
agree
like
with you
every
there.
page-
It's an easy game.
It's a game made for children. You guys are just
I
realizing
don't
this.
disagree. I don't.
Yeah.
No, I knew this playing it.
There's some tough puzzles. There's one or two tough puzzles. Like, there's no way a kid would have gotten that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just dumb. But it is an easy game, and you're always being tutorialized. There's always a character in your ear explaining exactly the objective.
Yeah. And there's a little, like, that little wizard guy that will give you clues if you want to use him.
Moonbeard.
Yeah.
Oh, Mini Beard. Yeah.
Clippy,
Mini
Clippy
beard.
the wizard.
He is. He's Clippy the there's no joke. There's, I think, like 4 characters designed just to, like, provide tutorial support. Like, there's
boy.
2 wizards, there's a note. It's
Yeah.
just, they don't want you to feel frustrated ever in this game. And that's that's why
Right.
it feels like a breeze. It just feels like a nice, light breeze of a game.
Right.
Yeah,
and
I
here I am
agree.
playing Witchfire, ripping people's
Yeah,
guts out.
I'm so calm right now, Michelle. Astrobot.
Yeah, you guys are
this
chilling
game.
out. You got these happy
Yeah.
games. No, I mean, it's okay if it's for a kid and still fun. I mean, that was the magic of like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It was made for kids, but there were jokes in there for adults. It sounds like there's something
Yeah, there
for
was
everybody with this
racist
game.
jokes in there for adults.
Product of the times. Or sexist.
Well, during
whatever.
World War II.
Yeah.
Calling down a sentry.
So yeah, that
Yeah,
I
that's-
like it. I dig it. I think it's definitely worth the PS Plus sub I did.
Totally.
But here's the
Totally.
thing: do I continue this deluxe sub? Like what?
Might be good for the show.
But
other
I've
than
never.
that, I don't
But
know.
Michelle, I've never. This is the first time ever.
But no, because now you've committed, you have to. Okay,
Oh,
sunken
God.
cost fallacy is going to be full effect because you could have just purchased this game for Steam or Switch,
know.
and I think it's like $20 on a key
Drop
site,
your
and then you
pin,
would have owned it.
northwest,
Now you've given
100
them
meters.
that you
I
have to
understand.
keep going. You don't
but,
own the game.
There's just times where I want to be in the living room, and this was one of them.
So buy a PlayStation key. You know they have those too. They've started to pop recently.
Sure. But I kind of
Just
want
buy
to
the
see
game.
what's that?
It's $30. The game itself is $30. Right?
Yeah, I paid
And you
21.
Okay, but then next month you pay again. You've paid 40,
I
and you
paid
don't own the
21
game.
to get like a few months of that super
But
deluxe.
you don't own it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Ever.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather own it for that. But it's up to you. Whatever. I don't think you're going to touch
You
PlayStation
literally
Plus
played
Plus again.
Frostpunk on Game Pass tonight, so thank you.
So?
All right.
What does that
so,
matter?
Because you're
What does that have to
saying
do
that,
with
I played it
anything?
on PlayStation Plus, and that somehow
but I
I'm a
don't.
dummy.
I don't want to own Frostpunk. You are a dummy because you paid for it. We got free from Xbox. So what are you talking about? And like I don't. I'm saying if you like the game and you want to play it, I think you could have just bought this. and You probably would have been just as happy.
Wait, this wasn't free on Xbox, was it?
No.
No, Frostpunk.
I thought you
is
just said
season.
free on Xbox. I'm like, oh, this is a Sony exclusive.
No, it's on PC.
Oh, okay. All right,
And Switch,
Sony
right?
PC exclusive.
Yeah.
Is it on Xbox?
Xbox
Maybe
loses.
it's not on Xbox. I don't know.
Just kidding. I did play a lot of Xbox.
It is on Xbox. It's on PS5.
All right. Well,
it's on
forget what
Switch.
Matt just said. He's
It's on Switch.
Wait, it's on. It's not on
It's
Game Pass though,
everywhere.
right?
No,
not on Game Pass.
No, no.
PS Plus Plus, whatever
Alright.
plus extra plus is.
I got a recommendation of a show. I think Michelle definitely. I think you too. Slow Horses. It's on Apple
Yeah,
TV.
that's what's his face. I've been meaning to watch
Gary
that. 'Cause I like the
Oldman.
guy in it. Yeah, Ullman. Yep.
Yeah, I did look at that over the weekend. I did not press
So good.
play, but I almost
I gotta
did.
watch that.
It's 6-episode seasons, super tight mystery humor. Gary Oldman, he's the goat. So I think just from what I know you guys watch, I think you'd really appreciate it. That's it.
I think I would like it.
Oh, Cranky agrees. Thank you. Slow
Calling in
Horses is awesome.
extraction.
We
Gary
don't agree on
Oldman was in
anything,
that.
me and old
What was that
Cranky.
like Catholic Communion movie or something?
He's in everything. He was in Fifth Element, the Batman
Calling down a
movies,
support weapon.
Harry Potter. The guy's a legend. I love Gary Oldman.
He's good. I should watch that. And I like detective stuff.
Oh, you'll love this. You'll love it.
All right. What are you
That's
drinking?
it.
Gary
I'm
Oldman
drinking
was
water,
in
by the way.
Leon the Professional. He was the cop. Was that what he was?
Oh,
That's right.
yeah.
Yep.
That's old.
He was the corrupt cop. Oh, sorry. Spoilers. He was the cop.
Okay, that's fine.
What
but
was
don't
that? What
spoil
is this-
Plucky Squire.
What am I thinking of with that Communion or something movie or Communion or?
What are you talking about communion? You know what that is?
With the Irish?
I know what
Brothers?
Communion is. Yeah, I've done it.
Okay, why do you keep
Couple
saying
times.
communion?
Because there was a movie
Couple
like that,
times.
like Communion or something or.
Communion is like a one-time thing.
That's the Alien movie with Christopher Walken, I think. I'm getting abducted by the alien.
What was that movie?
What are you talking about?
I remember a movie.
Could you go to IMDb and type his name?
John-
Do you guys are like having a stroke?
John
mid-
shutting down.
I remember
Yeah.
a movie with Gary
I don't. If you
Oldman.
sounded like that, I could not do a show with you.
It was like,
I can't handle it.
it
There's a
was-
lot of YouTubers that just sound like they have a speech impediment. I don't
that's
know
right.
what these people are
He
doing.
was in Dark Knight. He was he the mayor in Dark Knight? He was He was Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon.
Diablo 4. It's really good
I
from
said that. He was
Blizzard.
Commissioner Gordon. He was the best.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna find the name of this fucking movie. I think it
But
came
you
out.
do that on your own
it
time.
came out
okay?
Tell me more.
in the 80s or the 90s,
Saints. Boondock
All right.
Saints.
and it had some riff on Communion or
I was
something.
thinking of Boondock Saints, but no.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to find on IMDb. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah,
heard of
just
that.
go under titles.
Yeah,
and-
Kiwi. I think there's a couple of them. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Can't do what?
The D4 YouTuber, the long ginger hair. I can't do it.
All right, there was
All
a
right,
movie
guys.
called
Here
Communion.
I am. I live in Alaska,
All right, so
and I'm gonna move. Sorry.
Christopher
People who get it,
Walken
get it.
was in Communion.
Yeah, communion with the aliens.
I think you're getting
Now
walking
listen
confused.
here, 89.
John, please. I can't do it.
What year was the movie Communion made?
Let's talk about the Sony State of Play, which starred
I
Pat
think I know
and.
what fucking a communion is. A Zambuzama.
I think good. Yeah. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know
Let's
anything.
talk about
I don't know what a
Sony's,
communion is.
State of
It's
Play.
not a communion. It's called receiving it, isn't it?
I think I had my first
It's that
communion.
power bottom.
Yeah. I was put through that as well. Okay.
And the thing is, I got a bunch of gold coins that I sold in the last 10
Okay.
years.
Good.
What are we talking about?
And
Don't worry about it.
I got a 1980 set of Topps baseball cards at my communion, which had the Ricky Henderson rookie card in there. I sold that. So.
Yeah. That's good.
And a
Let's
double
go through our
double
histories.
eagle
I
gold
quit
coin.
catechism as a child. I knew something was up. All right, so let's talk about the Sony State of Play. What was the big news for you, Matt, as the Sony hardcore fanboy?
Requesting air support.
No, okay. Well, Rise of the Ronin, or no, what's it called again? Fucking
Ghost of Tsushima, the sequel, Ghost of Yoti or Yokai?
Yeah, it
What
looked
is it?
good. I know I bailed on the first one, so maybe this is my chance to maybe finally play it, give it an honest
Play
good
it.
chance, and catch up.
Yeah.
Because that trailer looked really good. That was really
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, that's
I'm
something
not
exciting
gonna-
for PlayStation 5 Pro, right? Because it's going to come out this year, or 2025. So
It's gonna
that's
look
like,
beautiful on that. Holy crap.
yeah.
All right, so
Finally
Ghost of
something.
Yote, Star Wars Outlaws interactive map, Matt.
Where? When? Now?
Yeah.
Wow, they had a map feature. The church lady came
Oh,
out
no.
and talked about
This is-
PS5 Pro
This is
again.
a fucking article within an article, by the way, the interactive map.
Don't worry about it. I watched the whole thing. Okay, we saw Keanu Reeves will voice Sonic
You
X
just
Shadow
took me a
Generation
headline
movie
from
pack
another-
coming December 12th. Keanu was I know Tiger, our producer, was very excited about this Sonic
Yeah.
news. He's been tweeting about it.
What is it? He's voicing a new Sonic type character?
Yeah, there's going to be a movie,
Oh.
Sonic X Shadow
I know what
movie
he's talking about.
Generation
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
movie pack coming in December
He's
12th.
the new Sonic guy.
Pal World coming to PlayStation, even though Nintendo's suing them for a patent,
Gonna
not
sue
for
them
art
into
or anything like
oblivion.
that. But they may lose because they filed the patent after the game came out, and it was approved after the game came out. And it's basically to throw the ball and the three wiggles that it does, which sets a really bad precedent for game development. And I hope Nintendo burns, but we'll get into that maybe later. But yeah, PSVR 2 stuff, I still saw a little of that. But,
Astrobot DLC announced for fall 2024.
Horizon Remaster, which is fun.
Can we just
Too
reverse?
soon.
I know I mentioned it in my thing, but the bots that are coming to Astrobot, one of them I think is Stellar Blade. I'm looking at a screenshot.
Matt, that is
That's
corporate
funny.
lip service, and I'm not happy
How
about
dare
it.
you?
I'm gonna
Yeah, new speed
gonna
run
lick that
levels,
boot,
10 new bots.
play more Astrobot. Yeah,
She is a bot though. Isn't she like a robot or AI? So it's perfect.
yeah, exactly. It works. Midnight Walk, that looked really good. The
Yeah, that's
for
VR optional.
PS5.
It's
The
on Steam
TMNT
as well.
Shredder's Revenge DLC. I know some of
Eh.
the chatters are talking about
Yeah.
that. It's out now and it's
yes,
free.
Mm-hmm.
Legacy of Kain. I saw a lot about this. Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remasters coming in
I like
December.
those games.
Yeah, that's a game I totally missed.
It's so ancient though, that game. Like
I
that
know.
is. The gameplay wasn't great. I imagine when that comes out, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, this wasn't that fun." Like it's not that intense of gameplay.
New DLC is $3.99, but there's also a free update for Teenage Mutant. I think it's not
Metro
only free.
Awakening, another. They really want to. They're still selling this VR concept, eh? Like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know
well,
about
the
it.
best thing probably is these new PS5 controller colors.
That's not the
Chroma
best thing to
colors.
come out of this.
Matt, they have
Monster Hunter
they have
Wilds
blue.
trailer was cool.
Dragon Age: The
Yeah.
Veilguard looks. I've been reading previews. People, I think this is going to be a great game. Dragon Age:
Oh
The
man,
Veilguard.
we're gonna have an interesting round table when we cover this game. I am concerned, and I'm gonna, like I said, even when I review this, I'd love to say, look, it doesn't look like a Dragon Age game. It doesn't play like one, but it's still separate from that. It's still a fun game. That's my hope for it. But I have some concerns about the combat I've been seeing and the animations and shit. So we'll
People
get
are
into that.
saying it's
People that
BioWare's
got to play
comeback.
early, they were paid. The only people talking about the game right now were paid to talk about it. They got flown out to the studio. They were paid. So everything you're hearing right now is sponsored and an ad. So you don't know yet, right? That's the problem.
I trust them. I trust
I
that they
don't
would not
trust
lie to
them.
me
I
about
don't
their
trust them.
impressions.
I don't
I'm
trust
a naive,
them.
I'm a trusting
You are.
person. I'm going to stay that way.
Yeah,
Alan Wake
there's
2 DLC. That's
Yes,
the one
that's
you're
what I was
talking about.
asking.
Yeah.
You're gonna play.
This should be
Lake
good
House.
because this is going to go back into like the lore of Alan Wake. So I think
Yeah.
this is like the facility that the weird stuff
I
is
like the
happening
Lake
at.
House movie with Keanu Reeves, so I almost kind of want to play this.
It's going to be nothing
It's a
like
good
this.
But it could be. There's a mailbox and letters go back and forth. I believe.
That's true. Time
Uh,
travel for sure.
Yeah, it's got that could have been an Alan Wake movie. It's actually kind of creepy. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't groundbreaking stuff for me
Yeah,
out of
Sony's
this. A lot
dead,
of you.
basically.
Oh come
Can
on.
we talk
No, this is all
something
bullshit.
really
There's
dumb?
nothing here. There's not a single fucking thing.
Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Finally, that game looked like garbage. It's gonna come right back
did?
out. No,
I thought it was
didn't.
too soon
That
to
game-
remaster.
And
Yeah, I was gonna
Horizon
say,
This is
fucking
ridiculous.
Legos.
This is-
Kids don't
this is
even know
insane.
what fucking Horizon is.
yeah,
doing a
I feel like the
Lego
Lego
version?
thing is weird. That we knew they were doing
That doesn't
that.
make any
though.
sense.
The Lego version, it's a weird franchise because it's
It's
not.
a bunch of Sony bootlicking. God damn it!
Well, they thought Concord was
those
going to be
Lego
their
games.
Star Wars and be around for generations, so they may not understand like what people want or what kids want. Like
Yeah.
they think
All
they're
right,
trying
how
to
about
really push the
this?
Horizon world.
So, Nintendo filed a patent for a mysterious device, and
Oh,
I'd like
okay.
to discuss this.
All
And
right.
the model number
Discuss.
is indicative of a new series of devices.
Okay.
Because if you look at the history of a Nintendo's model number naming, everything is 3 letters -001. That's always the first version of the device. For instance, the Switch was HAC 001. The first DS was NTR 001. This new device is CLO 001. What is it? Okay. This device appears to be the size of an Apple TV. It has a single USB-C jack, and it has some wireless capabilities. It has
Dongle.
no, it has some wireless, but not a lot of wireless. It has a 25
Is that in the patent? Is that how they describe it? Some wireless,
no,
but
it
not
has
a lot of
tw-
wireless.
Why don't you let me talk, please? Thanks.
I'm trying.
It has a
You've been
24
talking. You've been saying
it
nothing
has
for
a
20
20
minutes. You're describing a dongle. It has some wireless.
It has a 24 gigahertz millimeter wave sensor. Okay. So what is that, Michelle?
What does that do? And tell us, John. 'cause
Well,
I
people
feel
are
dumb,
saying
I
it could be a radar sensor to track movement, like closely following gestures or detecting when someone is nearby the device, causing it to
Didn't we
turn
already
on
go through this
automatically.
phase?
What's that?
Didn't we already go through this generation of move stuff?
I don't know. It has a fucking
I feel like an
radar
old
in
person,
it.
but-
What is the
It's
fucking?
probably a sensor to detect if the screen is in the
I'm not
thing
gonna let
or not.
Nintendo install a
And then it
radar
will-
in my living room that detects
Yeah,
my
like that's the
movements and
stupidest thing I've ever
sounds.
heard. It's radar in your living room, but Nintendo, like, what are these people talking about?
It's Nin radar. Nindar. It's Nindar.
No, that sounds like an Indian name.
Nintendo.
I am Nindar.
Obviously.
I will be your pediatrician.
So
today.
this
I trust
24
you,
gigahertz
Nindar.
radar can provide a detection range up to 100 meters, which is about 300 feet.
I don't want this shit in my house. Get
For
the fuck
what
out of here,
purpose?
Nintendo.
With
You're just
penetration-
zooming because I
Yes.
talked about something.
Penetration possible through
Yeah.
obstacles.
Okay,
This is-
I don't want
this
you
is scary.
penetrating
I
my
don't want
doorway.
this.
Yeah. And I think
You
that
don't want
Nintendo's
this
planning to
device?
kill us.
What?
No. No.
This
I
is-
let you
this
talk.
is
I gave you the
amazing.
time. Now I'm frightened, John.
Why?
They're gonna
I'm regretting
install
this.
like radars through
Yeah.
Mario. There's gonna be a new Mario radar.
Yeah,
game.
they're gonna give me
all right,
cancer.
Let's try to unpack this, okay?
I'm gonna need Nindar after
I don't
this
want
shit
to pack
comes
this.
into my
Why in the
house.
pack?
I'm gonna
It's
need
too
an oncologist.
radioactive.
Now hang on though. It does have a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi radio. Also, in addition to this radar.
I agree. Kiwi says Mario causes cancer. I agree. This is
Okay,
proof.
so
what
Nintendo
if-
is cancer.
So what if this is some kind of an extender or... when I first read this, when they said it was like an Apple
Booster?
TV device, I thought to myself, okay, do a Switch with no screen. Makes complete sense to me. Right?
Not to me. What?
No.
A Switch with no screen that plugs into a
So
TV.
you mean a dongle?
No.
like
Yeah,
like we
dongle.
said at the start?
No, well, why would it be a dongle though?
Switch with no
You couldn't
screen.
get all that in a dongle. But
Why not? What if it's a large
It sounds
dongle?
like you can.
What if it's an XL dongle?
But I do believe
Or a box.
I'm pretty confident that if you remove the screen and Joy-Cons from a Switch, you could put it inside of an Apple TV, right? Device.
Oh, I see. It's just a box. Just a tiny Nintendo box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a Steam box.
So
whatever
get
they-
rid of the whole thing that made them popular, the screen on your portable device? What are you talking about? That's the worst
Yeah, they
thing I've
still
ever
want the
heard.
portability.
No, that would
They
be
don't want
very
the
Yeah, the-
portability.
It wouldn't be popular at all. The
Sure,
reason why the
people-
Switch is
I
popular
think a
is
lot
because it's a
of-
handheld gaming system you can dock to your living room,
people-
just like all these handheld
But
PCs
people
are
that
coming out.
play
Nobody wants a
docked all the
Nintendo.
time-
Nobody wants a Nintendo dongle.
Not a dongle. It's $10.
Nobody wants that shit. The Switch is popular because it's a screen, it's a
Nintendo
handheld.
box.
What are you crazy?
No,
it
I'm
needs
not
to be
crazy.
portable. That's what Nintendo
Nintendo
does.
box.
You're crazy.
Nintendo
And they're not putting
box.
radar in my house. I hope Nintendo
Well, the
burns.
radar is essential because if you need
Yeah,
to detect
sure it is.
an approaching
Nintendo box.
submarine, maybe
Nintendo.
maybe you live on
Yeah.
the coast, right?
Maybe I do.
Right? And it's like, hey,
Yeah.
the Japs
I
are
do,
out there,
actually.
right? And
Whoa.
Say that. What is that shit?
Jesus.
This is what- just because you.
I'm sorry.
You can't say that.
Well, okay.
Yeah, 3,
What the
2,
hell is
1.
wrong with you? I was on edge with my Nindar joke, and now you're saying this shit.
Well, Nintendo's
I-
gonna pick that up in their radars, and we are
Yeah,
done
that's
for.
why they want. Yeah, they want the potty
Yeah.
mouth
What?
radar. Yeah, that's
Racist
what they're
Americans.
watching. They're suing
Here
everybody.
come the chat.
They're sue happy. All right? Very litigious.
Listen, I've watched the movie 1941 too many times. I'm sorry. I'm from
allowed
another.
You
to
need to
say
stop
it.
watching Humphrey Bogart movies.
No, that's a John Belushi movie. But okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you
that's
to.
Steven
It's a separate
Spielberg,
thought, John.
goddammit.
Not every thought I have is connected to yours. I'm saying you need to stop watching Humphrey Bogart
That's
movies.
a Steven Spielberg
thought.
movie, okay?
I didn't say that was. I'm telling you about another separate thought. Because all you talk about is Humphrey Bogart, and you're telling me I need to watch that stupid shit, and I'm saying stop watching
Yes,
it.
I think that you should watch the top 1 or 2 movies of all time. Yes,
Yeah,
I think you
that's
should.
Great. No, they aren't the top movies of all
But then
time.
you tell me how Rotten Tomatoes and all that in IMDb is so important, but you won't watch the top
How do I
movies.
say it's important?
You won't
I
watch
don't want
the
to
top
watch a Humphrey
movies.
Bogart movie.
Like,
I'm
literally the
sorry.
top movie, you won't
I'd rather
watch
watch
it.
new things that come out. You don't know anything. You have no cultural pulse of anything that's new that's come out. You haven't watched any new movie, any new
I have
series.
to.
You play a game for 10 minutes, then you turn it off. Keep watching Humphrey Bogart and saying Japs and see how that goes for you. All right, let's continue on. I apologize to our
Dressism is
Japanese
for
listeners.
Halloween.
I don't know
Dressism
this
for
guy.
Halloween.
I've never done a show with him before. This is not representative of Vichio's
Okay.
views.
Let's go back to the stellar state of play. I think that's what we need to really.
But I want to go back to this
But
radar
what's so
thing.
stellar about this?
Okay.
No, he's obsessed with radar. You're
Yeah,
obsessed.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
listen.
none of this shit sounds interesting, honestly.
What about that claymation game? That looks like it's gonna be indie stink all over.
Yeah, I saw that was. That
That looks like a Tim Burton-esque
Activating jump
kind of inside.
Is that the Midnight
vibe-ish.
game?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was.
Yeah, I put a picture. I don't remember. The Midnight Walk. That's the VR or non-VR game. It's kind of
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? There's not a lot here that I'm really. Actually, I'm not
No.
excited about any of these things.
They're all
Astrobot,
coming
maybe.
clean right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, some of these might turn out to be really good indie games, but
Of
it's
course,
just
the
you
Ghost of
can't tell from a
Tsushima
trailer.
sequel was the biggest news. I think seeing that wasn't like expected to come out in 2025. Like it kind of came out of nowhere, and it's like already coming. So
Yeah,
that's
gonna be
kind of a big deal. I
delayed,
think
but
that's
yeah.
maybe. Well, the
I think it's
rumor
great we
here-
finally have a white samurai. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's been a long time that we
Yeah,
haven't
are
had
they?
a white samurai.
There aren't. They're Japanese. Did you watch the same trailer? Well, speaking of the wrongly colored samurai, so Ubisoft has basically committed seppuku. They've dropped out last minute of the Tokyo Game Show, and the rumor is because Assassin's Creed Shadows may be delayed. So they've been going off on this thing, saying the only people upset about this are Americans, but apparently there are a lot of Japanese people upset about the game, and they, the country was looking into suing them and all this shit, and they had to apologize for a bunch of stuff. Or they already had to apologize to the whole country of Japan. Now they have dropped out last minute Tokyo Game Show, where they were supposed to present the game about Japan, Assassin's Creed Shadows. So
Do you think is that the rumor though? They're going to delay?
well, people are trying to figure out why would they do this. So obviously we know why, because they've had a lot of bad press even in Japan over this game. So, but it still seems weird to pull out. You never pull out completely. That sounds gross.
No, that's definitely a
last minute. Like, why did you do that? Yeah, that's a sign of weakness. You're not virile. Go eat some tiger penis, Ubisoft. You have to come back here. Like, explain why you dropped out.
Yeah.
Why did you drop out last minute? John, predictions? What do you think?
That
What would
game's
Humphrey
supposed to come out
Bogart
really
say?
soon, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's dead.
That's the whole idea. Is what would he say?
wouldn't understand this.
If we knew what he'd say, I'd ask
listen
him.
here, doll.
He's dead.
Listen, kid,
He'd
these
go,
video
come on,
games are my
doll.
thing.
He'd beat me at the end of the movie and drag me by my hair.
No, he wouldn't.
You shut down,
He
woman.
was a
Yeah, they used to beat the
romantic.
shit
Are
out of
you
women.
crazy?
No,
You
they
kidding.
slapped the shit out of
Not
women
Humphrey.
at movies
You
and
don't
shit.
even know anything
yes,
about
they did.
Casablanca. It was a
Oh, really? Why don't
story
you Google
of a
Humphrey
man
Bogart slaps
in
woman
love
on
with a
screen? I
woman.
guarantee it happened. Sometimes you gotta give him a little.
He was
You know what I
directed.
mean?
You got to do what the director asks you to do.
That's right. I don't blame Humphrey.
Listen,
That's all I'm saying. She got a little lippy.
Ubisoft is dead. We've been calling it for fucking
Yes,
ever.
we've been calling it. And so people are in denial about this shit.
Like
We called
honestly,
this.
since
Their stocks.
since they fucked up
They're
Tom
dead, Pat.
Clancy,
Let
they
it
were
go.
over. That's it.
They're done. Now they
Assassin's-
pulled out of the
Star Wars
Tokyo
is-
Game Show.
yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows may not even come out. They're like editing it right now.
They
They're trying to like make it.
destroyed. They
Yeah.
literally destroyed Assassin's Creed. They really did. They kept
I don't
making
know.
the same
Let's-
game over and over again.
Valhalla was great. Blah blah blah. Let's
Have they come
let's
out
just
and
go.
said
Let's
anything
move on.
about why they dropped? I don't know.
They should give some clarification. That's a pretty big.
Because
Yeah,
they're
you gotta say
afraid.
why.
They
You
are
gotta say why.
afraid of people reviewing this fucking game.
Ubisoft pulls out of Tokyo Game Show due to Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah,
they have
and then
not
they also
confirmed why.
said that no reviewers are getting fucking early views of the game.
It's gonna be a shit show no matter what. There's such a stinker on this game. There's gonna be a shit show. They should just release it.
Well,
just get
it's-
through it.
yeah.
The people like me
Just
are gonna buy
release
it.
Yeah, you're gonna
it's
buy it.
not-
You're gonna love it, or you're gonna do
Yeah.
the subservice. It's hard though. Coming off
Exactly.
Wukong with that tight gameplay, I don't know some of the animations I'm seeing on that. We'll see how that goes. If we roundtable that game, we might. John, I'm sure you and I might do the subservice to talk about it if it doesn't get delayed. But that's the rumor right now.
100 meters.
All right. Other news before we get out of here and offend any more people tonight.
Tagging map. South. 100 meters.
What's going on? Oh, retro gaming just got saucy. I don't know if you guys have ever wanted to put Atari hot sauce on your food. Now there's John, you were early on this. You predicted this.
I did?
Okay. Super breakout. I mean, we sold the VGO hot sauce.
Yeah, we did.
Hot juice
We
that
didn't
we just
sell it,
gave
we
away.
gave it
last
away,
week.
yeah, but-
Well, we gave it away. Yeah. So now there's Atari hot sauce, haunted house, super breakout.
I don't think kids know
Atari.
any of these games.
This is weird.
Kids don't know any of these
They- it's-
games. I can tell you right now that no kids know Haunted House.
It's not for kids. No kids are buying hot sauces. So it's this. They're like, okay,
Mac and
what
cheese.
are
Southeast.
39-year-old dudes buying right now?
They're
Oh,
buying
they like hot
Haunted
sauce.
House 2600
Yeah.
hot sauces? Really?
Yeah, they're
Arcade
like, my dad
cabinets.
had Atari. I love this
I mean,
shit.
obviously I did, and I grew up with it, and it's been
There
well
you go.
documented. But
Right.
I
50
don't
meters.
need these hot sauces. Listen,
it's
I
weird
got
and
enough
random,
garbage in
Atari.
this
What are you
basement
doing?
and enough shit on my shelf. The thing is, like 15,
Yeah.
10, 20 years ago, this kind of stuff was random and rare, where you would see something like this. Now there's just too much of it, and you can't buy it all. And if you start
Yeah.
buying it all, like I did for a while, you start getting depressed and just like
Oh.
it's just too much stuff.
It piles
It's
up,
too
man.
much
Right?
stuff. Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
gotta go
mean
live
much.
in the woods.
Everyone's doing it.
It doesn't mean anything.
Tagging
But
map.
I'm telling you, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I'd go to Toys R Us.
Like you said, it was few and far between.
Yes.
Like, oh shit, they did this. This
oh,
is really
they did
unique.
a fucking monkey ball figurine in the ball.
Yeah.
I had to get it.
You
Now-
say this as you're trying to promote your big sausage energy spice, John.
that has
Come on.
nothing to do with this.
It does.
It's like the
People like putting
Funko
things on things.
Popification. It's just there's so many of it.
Yeah, but
There's
this
so
is
it's endless.
My product is a real food product. This is just like a brand slap of a Atari haunted house.
Yours is all right. Well, let's talk about this. The reveal of PlayStation's 30th anniversary hardware is sending price gougers into a tizzy. Some already going for as much as $10,000 in an
That's
attempt to
stupid.
secure
And
the
if you
limited
do that-
PS5 Pro bundle. So you're saying this is costing too much? Why are they charging this $10,000? It's already happening. With the limited edition.
I
Take
am
that,
not
though.
participating in this in any way, shape, or form. I went through the whole
No.
PS5 thing. I had fucking stock tracker apps on my thing where they're tracking Yeezys and PS5s. I'm
Yep.
over it. I'm done with it.
I
I'm
went
not
through it
doing
with my
it.
3080. I fell
Yeah.
asleep with an
Well,
earbud
you
in,
and
an
I-
alarm went off. I got
Listen,
him.
You and I
but-
streamed like crazy, getting
Yeah,
380s.
that was fun.
That was really fun, honestly. I love that.
Yeah,
Remember that period?
But
it was a good time,
It
but
wa-
I'm over it.
I'm
right?
willing to do it again for a 4090, maybe, but I'm not
You
doing
mean
it
a
for
50 series.
or 5090. Sorry, but I'm not doing it for this. There's just no fucking way. I'm not playing the 0.5 game anymore.
What if it happens during Thanksgiving and you send your mom to wait in like Best Buy like you used to? It's gonna hit
Oh,
you.
John, we're over here
Oh,
at
John,
Walmart.
I can't believe
Where are
this.
you?
You really want this
Oh, you're at
PlayStation.
Myers. Well, what's the line of Myers like?
Well, let's talk about this quickly, John. Did you read this article? I asked you to. Xbox's president on handheld consoles and subscription gaming. So they talked to Sarah Bond, and she kind of talked about how she clashed with Phil Spencer at first because they have different styles. This was a Bloomberg article that kind of said that, you know, Sarah's had to deal with so much because so much that Phil hasn't had to deal with, and abuse because of her, you know, being a woman and blah 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 blah. I mean, I see Phil getting shit on a lot. I feel like he's like the most hated
I
man in
would
gaming for
agree
some
with you.
reason. But yeah, so she basically she said that she was hired to do what Phil means, not what he says.
What?
I'm being paid to do
To
what
read
he
his
meant.
mind,
I'm not
maybe
being
to be
paid to do what he
intuitive.
says.
What does that
Because they
mean?
clashed a little bit.
She's
So
got to
okay,
anticipate his moves. That's
yeah.
what she's saying.
that's right. She's using her female intuition. Now, at first, Bond and Spencer's personal styles clashed, and the two sought out Microsoft Human Resources Chief Kathleen Hogan. Okay, so basically, Sarah called HR on Phil, is what I'm hearing. It's always the woman. No dude goes to HR about a woman. Okay, that just
Right.
doesn't happen. Bond recalls Spencer and others at Microsoft telling her that her tendency to push the envelope and not let something go was new to them. So she's pushy, and they were annoyed. That's a nice way to say that. She said she found out that Spencer's communication style sometimes left her unsure of what he actually wanted from her. At one point, she stuck a post-it note to her computer with advice about interacting with him. I'm not being paid to do what he says. It read, I'm being paid to do what he meant. That's weird. That's like a husband-wife dynamic, you know? That's not
Right.
like
Yeah,
something you
that's
want to
very
deal with at
cryptic.
work.
All right.
Yeah.
To kind of shift gears, but not shift gears. Now, Phil's doing an event soon, right? Like in Japan?
The Tokyo Game Show, right? That Sony dropped out of? Is that what it is?
Yeah, and I really think,
Or sorry, that Ubisoft dropped out of.
yeah, so I think that event is really important because he knows he needs to get in front of the PS5 Pro, right?
And the rumor is they're doing their own new device with it's a handheld Xbox device,
Well,
which I think is great if it has Windows on it.
Well, I think, I don't think that's important, but I think
ESP says Xbox is dead. It
Xbox-
is important. It's the only thing that would make you want to buy an Xbox over a PlayStation outside of Game Pass.
Okay, so but if they do a handheld, I don't think that's the only system. I think you still.
They are going to use AI. That's how they're going to get by it. They said Microsoft has obviously been doubling down.
I
with
know, but
AI.
what I'm saying, Michelle, is if there is a handheld, which I think there might be, that is a secondary system, not the system. I still
Yeah,
think
well-
that they make a living room horsepower machine.
But
and
horsepower is not the same as what it used to be. You even have
I
Jensen
understand,
and NVIDIA
but they
saying that
haven't
AI is the
fully
future.
embraced the cloud in the living room with their like Series X. You know,
But I think you're like she's saying we're going to make the world's most powerful console. I think it's going to be some kind of AI tech or the
well, yeah,
cloud.
the
I
world's
mean,
most
before-
powerful console that
Yeah.
is in a warehouse in Nevada, and you're going to
Exactly.
tap into
in
it.
the IGN pre-show before the Sony State of Play, the guy
The
from
internet's not there yet, though. It's just
digital.
not. It's
What's
just
that?
not.
One of that the site where
Well,
they
we tried
test
with
things.
Stadia,
digital
right?
whatever. Yeah, but the
But
guy
it's
was
going
going
to
off
be there.
about how
Two and a half.
important for PS5 the PSSR is because FSR2 is such shit that basically DLSS is used by 80% of gamers right now are using it, even when a game performs well without it, because you get like double your frames for like 1% loss of quality, and everybody's using it. So that is the whole new world we're entering into. We're not pushing the envelope with power and size like we were in heat. Okay, we're going to the technology side. So if Microsoft, being Microsoft, can capitalize on that, John, like you're saying, NVIDIA juice in the new Switch,
Yeah.
I feel like their handheld gaming device, if it's dockable, and it gets more powerful, that may not be out of the question for them. Do they need to compete with the Pro's power?
But, okay,
because
so-
an Xbox could come out right now that's more powerful than the Pro, and nobody's gonna buy it still.
Right, but
They need something
I do
else.
think though that the current dockable model, like with the Switch, the potential
Needs a
Switch,
refresh.
well, the Switch too. Okay, so the new dock supposedly is like, well, it gets more power obviously because there's no battery once you dock it, right? So you can
Right.
juice up the CPU GPU because we have constant power. There's no battery consideration, and there's a fan.
What if
to
it
keep,
swaps from
but there's a
onboard
fan that
GPU
keeps it
to an
cool.
offboard
But that's
GPU?
all. That's the only boost you get from it, though. The dock
may be all
doesn't
you
have a
need.
GPU, so you're only getting like whatever 20% boost by docking it. So I don't see.
But if you have a really good upscaling technology,
I
you're
don't
running
see
with a really, really
Microsoft
low resolution.
relying on a handheld. Is my point. Even
Beyond
if
the
you dock
device,
it with a
so
boost.
Sarah said, for the last 2 or 3 Xbox generations, we've been selling consoles to the same 200 million global households. I'm happy to do that, but we're not growing. So how do they grow? They're not happy. Are you
Are there any
happy?
markets they haven't penetrated?
I like my Series X, so
That's kind of weird, though, because you have a PlayStation and you buy games that are not exclusive for the PlayStation, like Hogwarts, like what was it last
but
one?
okay, that's just informed decision making though, and gut.
Yeah. But would you really tell someone if they could only own one console to get
We've
the
already had this
Xbox?
conversation.
And you wouldn't, so you have to understand that people that have a limited budget need a reason to buy an Xbox, John, and they want to give them that.
Well, I think Game
maybe
Pass.
that
Game
handheld
Pass,
dockable thing.
Game Pass is the reason.
Tagging
Really.
map.
That's it.
I think
200
people
meters.
really like handheld devices, though. I think overall, not that I do. I think that would be like, look at the Portal even did better than I think you thought, John, right? Because there was people kind of maybe wanting that. Yeah, maybe they're trying to make a Steam Deck. All right, well, any other news you guys saw?
Box west.
John's getting ornery.
Box southeast.
No?
No.
Is that it? Sometimes things late break. I guess we won't
I've
talk
been
about how
keeping an eye
Concord
on
really
keys.
cost $400 million and it was supposed to be the future of PlayStation. That's been funny. It was supposed to be Star Wars-like potential.
Yeah, that
Colin Moriarty
Concord
can't talk
fallout is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's been
So
interesting.
if that's true, because we were saying 100 million, 150, 200, we don't know. Those are the numbers, and now it's coming out.
yeah, there was a culture
400?
of toxic positivity where the
Okay,
developers were
all right,
scared to say
let's
things.
address
That
that.
is
I want to.
that is what
Okay,
happened
so
there.
toxic positivity. No, actually,
You know what that is,
I
though. You know
understand
what
it.
it is.
I really understand it.
Everybody does.
I really do
It's
because
people who can't take honest criticism and they have a breakdown, so therefore you
No, no.
can't make a good product.
yeah,
and
so
that's what
everyone
developers
is
there are saying.
afraid to say
I see.
anything.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
Betsy
No
comes in.
pushback is what you're
Yeah,
thinking.
Betsy comes in a meeting with this obese character with pink hair. Okay.
Yeah.
And no one can say a fucking word because if you do, you're fat phobic or whatever it is, right? That's
Right.
what's happening, okay? So before we were trying to make badass characters, cool people that we wanted to be that weren't ourselves.
Can't say that because otherwise you get an Astrobot article about how it's Sony shame.
But if you look at
Okay, but we had Space Marines too. Like these games are still getting made.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just there's more games with more options.
right, but they're
Right,
not
like
doing
Those
well.
masculine games are still getting made every
I
year.
know,
is
but the thing
same
Right,
is
but
that-
excellent
Concord,
shit.
the market sets the
Right.
success or not, right? It doesn't matter what I think of it. The market
Right.
spoke
Yeah.
with Concord, and they didn't want it.
But this
the
is the
developers there
toxic
were feeling
but
like
I
they
actually-
couldn't speak
yeah.
up against the game, and that's why it failed.
Right.
So
The toxic-
it's
They're
not
saying
the
that, then
artist's
obviously
fault.
that's a
If the
problem.
artist
Yeah.
is told you have to draw this like this, and this is the vision, and they can't say this.
No,
isn't
but
like,
I don't think it's the
So-
thing is, I think some of the artists though were kind of advocates, so they would create.
Oh yeah, I
these-
mean there was multiple people who worked at this company who have
Right.
said ridiculous shit
and
online.
the thing is,
and
no one,
like, so-
everyone's paralyzed, and they can't
Right.
criticize, and that's why this stuff gets pushed through. Because if you criticize, then you are some class of person that is.
I mean,
other.
this is not
Okay,
something
well,
we're making
well,
up, Matt.
okay.
This is what
Why?
developers have
Yeah.
said about
I'm
women
gonna-
who worked on the game.
I'm just gonna do
That's
I'm
not
just gonna
our
do the woke
feeling.
leftist. The woke leftist perspective is
Don't connect those two. You can be left and not woke.
Yeah.
I hate when people
okay.
do that.
My perspective is that this is the reverse has been happening for decades before. They always had companies and designers populated by people who pushed the hyper masculine narrative and
But
people who wanted something different. Just let me finish. People wanted something different.
Yeah, but you're confused.
couldn't-
You're fighting, like you're white knighting a case
no,
that
but-
we're not
no,
fighting.
no, but
We're
I'm
just
saying,
saying
like-
why the game failed because of the toxic positive culture there. Nobody
No,
can
but I'm
speak up
saying that
against it and
same
make it a good
culture.
game.
that same culture was reversed. You had a lot of people saying, I want different perspectives, but they'd be beaten down by the majority of the studio that said, no, we're putting out the same hyper dude game again because we don't want to take trench. So it's just a correcting that's happening. And
No, because
hopefully
it
we'll bring
failed.
it back to
It
what
was
we're saying.
8 years and $400 million.
But the
It failed. So all that
correcting
matters is making a good
appeals
product that
to
sells,
a
right?
very small minority. And
Right.
then games
this
like
modern audience you're making this game for doesn't exist, and if it's going to, it's not a $400 million 8-year project, right? I think that was
but
the
a game
problem.
like
target it
Stellar
smaller.
Blade and Wukong,
Go make mixtape.
which is universally loved by many.
Stellar Blade got the love. Anyways, it's
What?
getting late. Let's
Got the love what?
No, I mean
Because-
this isn't something
Got
this
the
isn't
love
my
because it was
opinion.
a
This is what the
martyr
developers
for
there are
the-
saying. They're saying
it
that
was a-
studio, the people who worked on it, like this isn't my feeling
Right.
or my
Yeah.
opinion. The developers who
No,
worked
so if they're saying
on
it,
the
that's
Conquer
sure,
games
that's-
said there was a
that's-
culture
yeah.
of toxic positivity where they felt stifled.
Yeah, no, this is
And
what
they
was
believe it.
reported, and we're just kind of commenting
Yes.
on it.
Yeah, this is
Look,
not my
look,
opinion. Like I
Yeah.
bet
I like
this
the main guy
happened.
of Concord. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, this seems like
It looks like
Guardians
a
of the
poor
Galaxy.
person's
I
Guardians of the
didn't-
Galaxy.
Viking?
It's not creative.
Yeah, but you can say that for a lot of these kind of clones.
And,
a lot of
and
these
Matt, this
Overwatch
may not
clones
only
that
be on
did a
how the
lot better.
characters looked. It was also for gameplay. It's just an example. Like somebody
No,
who
the
worked there
gameplay
might
is
have
boring.
said,
Sluggish and
yeah,
stupid.
like this
So
game is
I would say
sluggish
the
and
failure
boring,
is
but
the
they can't
gameplay, not
say
the
that.
design. In
Well,
another
it's-
world,
it's-
that design people love it. In another world, it just
Well,
for some reason pop culture
well, I
said
mean-
we don't love this.
Yeah, because
But the-
take a look at the new Valve game that I talked about, Deadlock. It's a very
Deadlock,
diverse,
yeah.
weird characters, like all sorts of crazy
Yeah.
stuff, and nobody has a
I
problem
think
with
it.
So
I think the game sucked. I think that's the basic
Yeah.
truth.
No, I
is that it
played
didn't
So
Concord,
when
suck.
these-
and I
when
knew
these
right
people-
away I didn't like it.
when these people are saying, Matt, it was a culture of toxic positivity, it may have nothing to do with how the characters looked. It could have just been that they said this game feels slow and clunky, but they couldn't upset
I know, but
Ricky
the
over
toxic-
there because
but
Ricky would have had a
that's what
nervous
I'm saying.
breakdown.
The
That's what-
toxic
it's not a matter of-
positivity, though,
yeah.
I understand.
cultural
But I
thing.
understand
Yeah.
that, though, because everyone can't criticize. Because if you do...
You should be able to criticize, and
I
that's
know,
like
but
the number one
that's
thing.
how
like
design
if you
works, okay?
when you're hiring people, you need to have someone who's
again,
brutally
it's
honest.
like
The
design by
end.
committee. It's like you try to make everyone happy, you make no one happy, and that's.
Well, they made nobody happy
I
with
believe
Concord.
in
Literally
that,
nobody.
right?
And they refunded
Right.
the 12
Yeah.
people who bought it. So that's all that mattered in the end. Like money talks, bullshit walks, 400
Right.
million 8 years. Like you don't have to prove it to me. If it was popular, I'd be eating my words.
Yeah.
And I didn't work on the game. The people who did said it was
It's
toxic
crazy they
positivity.
pulled it that quickly. Like, are they just going
I
to
know, it's
remarket
bad
it or
It
reskin
was a stain.
Like,
It was a stain.
what are they doing though? They have to be
I
retooling.
saw something, and I have nothing to back this up, but I read something
Okay.
online that said Japan was embarrassed by it.
It wouldn't shock me.
Sony
yeah,
Japan was embarrassed.
could be. Do we answer to them like Sony America? Do they answer to Sony Japan? Would
Of
that
course
make
they
sense?
do.
Like,
That's the
Yeah.
headquarters. That's the core group running all of
Yeah.
this, right?
That's
Right.
crazy.
That's
Imagine
the
getting
same-
that call.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
an
I wouldn't
intimidating
want
like
it.
video call.
Yeah.
We are very,
But-
very dishonored by your game.
Right.
Well, that's what's happening right now. All right. Well, whatever went on, it's just funny now. There will not be a Concord 2. That was all a joke. Hopefully you guys know that. That was not at the Sony State of Play. But we do thank you guys so much for listening and subscribing. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about the new Zelda game, probably the least hyped Zelda game I remember in a long time, but we're still curious about it. Echoes of Wisdom. Come to videogameoutsiders.com. We've got a Discord. You can enter to win John's new spice, Big Sausage Energy. We're giving away 2.
That's right.
Show notes, episode archive, support us. Come to twitch.tv/John and Michelle. I think that's it.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, subbing, all that stuff. We'll see you very soon. The Video Game Outsiders out.
Out.
Requesting air support. Found something. Calling in reinforcements. Request approved. Deploying reinforcements. Tagging map. West. Far.
Calling down a support
Requesting air
weapon.
support.
Orbital inbound.
Found something. Requesting air support.
Coming in hot.
Orbital inbound. Sending in an eagle.
Reinforcing.
Out of ammo. Reloading.
Calling in reinforcements.
Helldiver, you are moving outside the mission area.
Requesting advanced weaponry.
Requesting air support.
Dropships. Orbital inbound.
Objective located. West. Sending in an eagle.
Here comes the cavalry. Eagle 1 rearming. Be back shortly.
Dropping a pin. West. 100 meters.
Calling down a support weapon.
You may proceed to extraction when ready.
Sending in an eagle.
Bot outpost destroyed.
Reinforcing!
Request
Tagging
approved.
map.
Deploying
West. 200
reinforcements.
meters.
Mission map updated.
Heavy. South. Close. Calling down a support weapon. Tac pack inbound. Throwing supply beacon. Requesting orbital. extraction!